Da-na-na, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-na. Da-na-na-na-na, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-na. And Zaxx shows up. He shows up late because he's so big of a YouTube channel. All right, we're going to start this off real soon. We're going to be talking dragons, cousins, bastards, and cripples. And we're going to have a lot of fun with it. Why don't you join us on this magical ride we call House of the Dragon, or give it the hot D, right? You like that?
My man.
My man. We gotta update that. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. And if you did not know, Sporking's channel is under attack. Please like, share, reshare, tell your auntie, your slightly racist uncle, who also posts things on Facebook about this channel. It is a literal David versus Goliath. Thank you, MrGrantGregory, for 10 Australian. He just passed 7,000 subscribers, so he knows to feel like shit. Because my channel is under attack. Yeah, by a random Gmail account. I'm getting strikes after strikes. But hey, we're here. It's a Monday. God bless.
Oh, wait, no, never mind.
God bless America. Well, it's America, bro. So it's Monday. You Aussies are in the future. But yeah, welcome to a stream by the Crossroads. We have some stuff to talk about tonight. Panel, we got MrGrantGregory.
How you doing?
Yeah, that's great. You're great.
Okay,
No,
yep.
no, go on, please.
No, it's fine. I was just saying, like, there's a random account that's decided to put strikes up against this channel, and for whatever reason, when we do our counterclaim, when YouTube takes all of 30 seconds to look through, hours of footage and determine that we were in the wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome feeling. It's an awesome feeling. But anyways, we move on and we look at the brighter things in life, like Mason's awesome microphone tonight. Hi, Mason.
I told all you guys in the chat, by the way. I'm really excited to talk about this episode. Yeah.
Awesome, buddy. Thank you for being here.
Mike.
Yeah, no, static is our thing. Don't worry about it. We also have the $10,000 man or subman, something like that, Zaxx, who also rips off other people's work, but still he doesn't get hit.
No, I didn't get hit. I got the funniest. My channel is also under attack. And by the way, almost 15,000 subs now, Scott.
Oh, okay, good.
So keep up.
Yeah. Son of a bitch.
The weirdest attack ever. Demonetized, but no claims, no strikes. And they started pushing my videos harder. So my views have gone up and my subs have gone up for some reason. Maybe because they get all the money now. I don't know. But it's quite an attack. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, at least you're still alive, buddy. And
so far.
Yeah. And
I have seen YouTube saying something about like cutting back on content that is not like anything original, like cutting out clips and stuff.
Screw that, man.
Yeah, it was for reused content.
I don't know, but we have the Velaryon Jayne. How are you, purple-dyed Jayne? That is dope.
Hello. Yes, Grant made it for me.
Oh wow, he made you that. That's awesome.
It's cool.
It is cool. Grant, even though he makes everything for my channel. How are you?
Fantastic.
Good.
How are you guys?
I'm doing all right, Jayne. I just want to publicly say thank you for all the help you've been giving me, you and Grant, on trying to fight this couple strikes I've gotten. They screwed me once I tried to actually put in what we wrote. Well, you wrote. It was only 2,000, and I think you wrote like 3,800 characters. So I totally had to redneck it and cut it all the way down. But it is what it is. And let's get on with it. Let's say hi to the
email. You sent the email too?
Well, I sent you the email.
I mean, the email. Did you email that address?
Yeah. Oh, I emailed them, HBO, Warner Brothers, some dude's aunt. I emailed everybody and no one has responded. It's weird, right?
You should also make sure that you have the right email address. I heard someone did that recently where they forgot to put the at the front of someone's email address. I don't know who did that, but yeah, apparently that happens.
Oh, wow. So we have Linda del Castello. I had a great uncle named Costello. I wonder if we're related. How are you? Zombie Box Reviews. Keely Chow is in the house. We also have Joseph Dredd, good supporter of the channel. Also Brent and the Ginger Ninja up in this house. We also have Tina Bojan, who's allowed to be on every odd number because we only allow one woman on. And Christie, if she shows up, because I'd be too scared to tell her no. Bashi McFadden. Sporky News Podcast. We're going to get deep spoilers this time. Let me know beforehand so I can dip out. Yeah, look, there will be light spoilers. I'm going to tell everybody that ahead of time, but I try not to spoil too far ahead. I guess there was a big spoil last week. I don't know. Because I wasn't on there. We have Sultan Fahim. There is a tempest in her. The lovely Sherry is in the house. Who else do we have? Anybody else I want to shout out that I could see really quick? We love the lovely Sherry. Shane is good human being. He's been with the channel forever. Were you going to say something? Okay, let's get going.
I was, but apparently I keep forgetting to hit
speak?
the unmute button. No,
okay.
Yeah, no, I was speaking. I was you like during the intro because you were completely muted during that intro as well.
Oh, I know I was. It took me a second to realize I was talking to myself. It's always fun when you do that. So, Soul Assassin, the mods of mods, welcome to the party, my friend. So, guys, we're gonna go around and we're gonna.
We got 2 members chat, so we get those sorted first.
So we got Keely Chow, member for 3 months at the Oberyn Martell level. Thank you, Keely Chow. Guys, members are the blood and the pumping of the heart of this channel. We're all going to be under attack. That is freaking true, my friend. We have been for the last 2016. So I mean, it's something we have to deal with. And MrGrantGregory, 11 months, hot pie level. Hail to the awesome panel and phenomenal chat. That is damn true, people. I'm
not sure if that's how you spell phenomenal. I just did it phonetically. So.
Well, and that's why I could read it easily because I'm slow. And that's my truth. So we're going to go around the panel. We'll start with you, Grant. Where do you rank this? And we're going to talk a little generic right now, but where do you rank this episode? This is the episode where we aged up a lot. There was a couple that I thought weren't going to be good. We're fine. There was one that totally I couldn't stand that they changed. But we'll get into that. What did you think?
I think out of what I'm going to call the modern era, so everything from the change, it's been the best episode so far because it's been the only one. Valid. I didn't think I would enjoy Emily Darcy's interpretation as much because let's get one thing straight. They are completely different characters. The last time we saw an era, she didn't want anything to do with kids. She didn't want everything like that. And now this one is on a third. Okay,
so we'll talk about that. I find that interesting. Also, the Queen.
I after this episode, I went and watched the behind the scenes they're talking thing. I decided I'm not going to do that anymore.
No, guys, I told you guys weeks ago, do not watch or read anything from the creators or actors of this show, and you'll enjoy it so much more. Because the nuances we catch of their filming, they don't mean. They it's an accident. So just enjoy because the show is so good. So what do you rank it though?
I see. I'm a little bit biased because when I saw I thought it was a little bit of a slow paced one, but as soon as I saw the old dragon and I saw how they're going to interpret the old aging dragon, I just fell in love with it. It was something that I've been waiting to see for ages, and I think they nailed that.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Vhagar.
Yeah, certain characters. Once we get into it, certain characters, I'm quite happy with what they've done. The mystery of Harrenhal got we now
that
know
was
what it's
answered.
gonna be.
A lot of things were answered this
Dude,
week.
I was convinced it wasn't who it was. From doing it from the books and everything. I was like, yeah, no, I know who did this, but they're giving us the answers.
I still don't know for sure.
Well, wait a minute. What do you mean?
I have a theory.
Oh, well, we'll get into that once we get to that part. There were a couple big book changes.
Yeah,
Jayne Theory. There were some really big book changes, like proposals completely flipped around.
Yeah, that was the one that threw me, because when it was said, I'm just like, okay, so they're going to go this way, and I'm like, oh, but it was still
Yeah, they made some really big changes, and we will discuss changes from the book. So please be prepared for that.
I too also have a Jayne theory. In regards to Daemon and where they're going to take this character, because I think he's getting a completely different send-off ending storyline. I'm almost convinced of that now.
Well, okay, so we have some questions, right? We have some things to talk about. We will try not to spoil future episodes, but it is a little hard not to. Give it a number, though, man.
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. So it's definitely up there. It's definitely a good episode. So
okay, Mason, how about you, brother?
Okay, so I had a lot of problems with this episode.
Oh.
Objectively, it's probably closer to like a 5, but I enjoyed it at probably a 7.
Okay.
And I think the writing problems probably came because they tried to do such a big jump. But I think the new actors or actresses are they're pretty good. Like, they're not. I was kind of worried about them, but they seem to be doing pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. So you're giving it a 7, but you feel like it could be a 5?
So more objectively, like just looking at the writing, I think it's more like a 5, but I enjoyed it as a 7.
Okay. And Zach? I'm sorry, Mason. Were you done?
Do you want me to talk about the queen thing that I was talking to you about?
No, we'll get there. We'll get there. But I like what you're thinking. Zach?
Guys, I don't know. Like, after Abby killed Joel, I was kind of out. Mm-hmm. You? No?
No, what? Huh?
No, wrong show.
Wrong show. Okay.
No, it's good. I would give it about a 6. I like some things.
Did you do OC us then? I wasn't paying attention.
No, that wasn't an OC reference.
No, I spoiled a different show.
Yeah. It's all right. You know what, Zach? I liked it. Go ahead.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, buddy. Cheers to you too, my friend.
So I liked it. I thought it was maybe a 6 or a 7. It wasn't only because I didn't love Emma Darcy, and I tried to like her. Like, I tried to be fair to her and ignore what she said, but she came off a lot more masculine than the younger Rhaenyra for me. Mm-hmm. And some of the decisions she made were a bit strange, and I would have liked to have seen a bit more.
Like acting decisions or actual decisions in the show?
Well, decisions in the show, and in that she didn't really didn't seem to work them out very well.
Okay.
And the other actress, the way she showed those decisions being made, I think is what I'm talking about, because you could read her face and kind of know what she was thinking without her having to explain it to you or give you a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
You could just see it, right? It was subtle.
You mean Karen Hightower?
Karen Hightower, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I felt like she played her as. Yeah.
Yeah. So then that was okay. But overall, it was good. I love the dragon stuff again.
Yeah. Vhagar was unbelievable.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right. So you gave it a 6 or a 7, did you say?
6.5 or 7 in there somewhere.
Okay.
I have to think. I just finished watching it, so.
Okay. I enjoyed it. Jayne?
Yeah. I did enjoy it overall. It's definitely good television. But I did have to take away some points because it felt rushed.
Yeah.
Like, there were relationships I felt they didn't explore enough. Daemon and Laena, for example. I wanted to sort of see more of that. They didn't give us much of the relationship between Rhaenyra and Harwin,
Yeah.
which is something else I kind of wanted to see.
Yep.
I didn't like some of the changes that they made, which we'll get into. Two of them in particular, just I would have preferred they not have gone that route. I didn't like them leaning so heavily into the woman power angle. But I did love the dragons, and I loved how they established the personality of the kids.
Yeah.
Because we will see that when they're older, we'll see that come through. But we did see a little bit of spark in them, and that conflict that will come. So it was definitely some foreshadowing that was done really well.
All right, so what do you give for a number?
About 7 out of 10. Yeah.
Okay. Zombie Box Review for 20 pounds. Thank you, brother. Andy's a great dude, guys. Please check out Andy. It is a super sticker, and it's amazing. Whatever it is. I'm too scared to open up too many things, Andy, because my computer will shut off on me. But thank you, my brother.
Real quick, this episode did continue the tradition of throwing kids out the window.
Yeah. I thought it was about to. Something was getting thrown. Oh, my God. I just got what you meant.
Yeah.
I don't think he actually finished throwing the kids out the window. That was wrong, dude. Very good, Mason. Oh, I'm proud of you. All right. So my feelings on it. I enjoyed the episode as a whole. I had a couple issues. I think, Jane, I might be the two I'm thinking of. 2 book changes I did not like. A couple of the verifications from the book I thought were interesting. I felt like if you were going to 10-year jump that fast, they allowed too many things to happen in this episode. Like, if you're going to jump 10 years, they did a good job with letting us, like, I didn't feel like we lost that 10 years, but I felt like they rushed a couple things way too quick.
Yeah, they could have added an extra episode.
I agree. Completely agree. I feel like we needed another episode and then like had the dramatic Dracarys, scene, which is not in the books. Or stuff like that, but I would give it a 6.5 to a 7. Yeah. But I thought Darcy did a good job. I actually liked her more than I thought I would. She played the role in a way like I thought she would, but then she also was a little too weak at points. The queen, I hated her, but then I realized, wow, she is the only sane one, who's living in a world of crazies. That's why she's losing her shit. So she wasn't as bad. The actress did a fine job.
Maybe they shouldn't have aged them up so quickly, because it's only been 10 years. So they don't look that different.
They pretty much could have aged up the actual actresses.
Yeah, they would have aged up close to their actual ages.
Yes.
So you could have done that and and then when we have the next time skip.
Yeah.
Then introduce the older ones.
So another issue I had was Laenor. You have a young, handsome, masculine fighting man who wasn't, if I'm correct, Jane, I might be remembering this wrong. Was he even a dragon rider in the books?
Yeah.
He didn't fight in Stepstones though.
It's what is the dragon's name? That is his dragon.
Okay, but he didn't fight in the Stepstones.
Sea Smoke.
I don't
Sea Smoke, that's right.
Sea Smoke, yeah. Sea Smoke.
I swear he didn't fight in the Stepstones. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't remember him being a warrior type guy.
Right. He was he liked to go to clubs and hang out with the boys and hang out with the boys.
But I liked it. You're exactly right. I think one of the things I liked about the last episode when he was introduced was how they didn't make him all effeminate.
Right.
And then suddenly we're in this weird situation where he's, I don't know.
He looks goofy compared to how he looked as a kid.
He looks so much more masculine. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the young one was strapping, good looking young man.
They could have kept him.
They should have.
Yeah.
But you're right, Jane. Do you guys agree? Zach, do you agree? They shouldn't have added changed the actresses.
Yeah, definitely. I preferred all of the other actresses better, and the actor even. I did. I think that they shouldn't have jumped it. And they didn't jump Kristen Cole, so they didn't have to jump everyone. Right. So why jump the main characters who were doing an excellent job, who we were invested in? And I think that one of the things about Rhaenyra's performance is she is in a vulnerable situation. You can tell she knows that, but she doesn't emote vulnerability to me, even though, you know, and the younger actress really could do that.
Mm-hmm. I felt like she had her moments. Like when she was talking to her husband, like the second time about leaving, even the first time, like she had tears in her eyes, but I feel like she feels like she has to be stoic.
Yes.
Like that's what I got from her. I actually think she did an excellent job. You know, and how let's go here. Hold on. Let's just go.
Scott, I'm not putting under her as an actress at all.
No,
like,
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
It's like the choices they made.
Yeah.
So we start the episode with what sounds nothing like childbirth at first. I thought we were coming into something. I thought we were going to come into her and Strong coming into her.
I think this is foreshadowing too.
Yeah. Well, and it's also almost like you know how George loves the past, mirroring the present.
Yeah.
Like she looks so much like her mother in this moment.
Yeah, that's true too.
So like, I felt like they were trying to mirror that. Yeah, I don't know. You were on last night. See, I didn't get a chance because Zach, I watched it a couple hours ago, so I didn't get a chance to watch anybody's reviews. You were on with Gary last night, and I'm totally changing subjects. He gave us a shout out, but I heard it was kind of a slap at me.
It wasn't a slap.
Yeah. Oh, I just stabbed myself under my fingernail. Ow.
See?
That was Jesus getting me. No, Billy Bob Sack was like, he totally went after you on like a message. I was like, wait a minute, what the? But
hey, he named your panel. That's always a good thing. And
Gary knows I could take a joke. I'm available for the last 4 episodes, you jerk. Anyways. So anyways, no, back to the show. So did you guys think this was going to be the scene though? Like when you first heard it, I was actually taken back by that.
What scene?
Like it sounded like lovemaking and then went into giving
I muted
birth.
it immediately, so I didn't know.
It was too rough to listen to?
I didn't want to know. I figured it would be a childbirth thing.
What does lovemaking sound like to you?
Childbirth, I guess. I don't know. It's so fast. I don't really remember how it sounds. So, well, I mean, like they're going through this whole thing, right? And she's like, you know, she finally gets out the kid, and literally was that like, was the maid waiting outside, the chambermaid waiting outside for her? You know what I mean? Like, like she gave birth, and the girl came in and was like, the queen wants to see the baby.
I think they let the person know, and the person was like, she wants to see the baby. Or they could have given her the instruction in advance as soon as it's born.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought like the girl was like literally like, okay, she stopped screaming, I'm going in.
Could be.
Like that is messed up though. That's how we're introduced back to the queen. Like,
but they suggest that this is something she's been doing with every child too.
Right. So is this her checking? Well, I mean, it is her checking the child to see if it's actually Laenor's. That's what my feeling on it. Like
petty.
It is so petty. Like the moment a child is born, you take it from their mother to check it. Like it is it's a power move. It really is. Like I'm the queen.
It is. She's really throwing that around. Like she's come into herself as a queen, and she's using that authority.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's just so messed up how she's going about it.
It also shows everyone else in the court that it plays out that whole narrative that these are not, you know, children of the marriage.
Right.
And that she suspects that it's a very loud way of making sure everyone knows that. She couldn't show me this child, right?
Right. Yeah, she makes so Rhaenyra gives birth to her son, and before even like, and I thought about this, like she gave birth and then she's like gets up, and I'm like, isn't there more still to come? Like I've been through 3 kids' births, 2 were C-sections, but 1 was pushing through, and I know something came a couple minutes later. You know what I mean? Like, and then all of a sudden they actually did it, and the afterbirth came out. Like,
but she had to know that was about to happen.
Well, this is her 3rd kid, right? But like, just the idea that they even did, like, they didn't forget about that. Like, they actually like put that into the scene. I was like, wow, that is harsh. Like, that is a rough scene to get through. So I understand why you muted
This
it.
whole thing is rough thing. Like it did though kind of remind me of how with royal babies they have to present them so soon after.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was a big issue with Harry and what's her name. She wasn't feeling well, but they wanted her to just come out with the baby, like tradition.
Wait a minute, who?
In England.
Oh, right.
Megan, she had some issues
Meghan,
or whatever
yeah.
with her pregnancy, and they wanted her to just immediately almost get out of the bed and present the baby to the public.
She was weak. Right. Yeah, Meghan Markle.
So maybe that's a thing too, like present the baby.
Right. I think but like, I don't know.
She doesn't have positive motivations in this.
Not at all. Not at all. Mason, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they definitely, going back to like the casting, I think that they chose her because she looked way more like Queen Emma than she does like Rhaenyra's the younger actress.
Yep.
And like this scene is just kind of like calling right back to like all of the conversations she had with her mother and where her mother ended up. It's kind of like she didn't want to do this, but now she's kind of like grown into happening to be in the same position as her mother.
I mean, right there, she looks just like her.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. So I like that idea that they didn't choose her on the looks of the younger actress, but they chose her on the looks of her mother, because you have a valid point. She looks nothing like the younger actress. Nothing.
I don't think she looks like her mother.
In this moment, I felt like she did. Like I would play it out, but like right there and like kind of a couple of the...
When her face is hidden, kind of, yeah.
Right.
Her mom was beautiful.
Her mom was beautiful. Her mom was beautiful. But I like the idea that they did that because, like Laenor, look at it. Mm-hmm. He looks nothing like the younger actor. It's actually disturbing how bad it looks.
I said this last night too, but they do not know how to cast Black people.
No.
They should just stop trying because none of this is right. I mean, they think they're just interchangeable or whatever.
Right.
And they're not.
Like, look at that guy.
Nothing alike.
I don't even know if they have the same facial structure.
They don't.
Like, they didn't take into consideration noses, ears, eyes, like cheekbones.
Color, it's all off.
Yeah, it's all off, and it's troublesome actually. And again, this is what I've been talking about since before the show started. The man's color, and then her children. Why wouldn't anyone automatically think there was a paternity issue? Like his skin tone, his hair color, and then Harwin Strong. Like these kids
in the real world, it's possible. Like my brother-in-law,
1 out of 3
color, and his wife is blonde, blue-eyed white woman, and their kids are white.
Yeah,
like all of them are Nazi level white. They're white as snow, so it's possible. But
didn't expect that one.
I love that's going to be a new Crayola color. Yeah. Nazi level white.
But I think that it would have made a bit more sense if he looked more like the old Laenor, who was a lighter complexion person.
Right.
But the kids, I did like how they cast them though, because these kids, and this proves that they can do it when they want to.
Right.
Because these kids look exactly like Harwin.
Yes. Yeah, like the oldest son.
Biological children.
Right. The oldest son looks like his kid. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, this the show's interpretation of this seems to be it's a completely open secret. Everyone like knows or at least suspects that the children are not from Laena. But they can't say anything because the king will just kill them.
Right. And in the books, it's a big, there's whispers, there's rumors, you have a couple coming from, Mushroom and a couple coming, I always forget the maester's name. Arwen, is it? I always forget his name. But they're coming from the 2 different sides. And then there's actually there's a third one that says, that they're unfounded, rumors. So again, we're told that this show is the actual truth. So like they didn't even try to like, I wish they kind of played on the idea that is he or isn't he? Like it's so obvious. Everybody knows. Even the king, but he just won't admit it.
I think that's part of the reason why that they did the race change in the actors.
Well, that's what I was just saying, to make it so obvious.
To make it so obvious, yeah.
But it still doesn't it still doesn't make sense though to me. I feel like if that was what they were going for, this guy is supposed to be if I'm remembering correctly, technically, he's supposed to be like quarter black Garrett.
Yes.
Because Corley's is supposed to be biracial.
Be a quarter. Yeah, he's a half, I mean, yes.
So it still doesn't make, it's just the casting just doesn't make sense.
No.
I agree with you that I think this makes it more obvious, even more obvious than before.
Right.
Which also explains why they didn't do Rhaenys hair black like the Baratheons. But it feels like they're just jumping through so many hoops and all this extra work when they could have just kept it the same.
Could I just say pyramid scheme is one of my favorite. Newborns are typically lighter, by the way. I was a yellow bone as a baby. Today they call me Lord Darkbone. Like, I don't know if you're being honest. And then he goes, yep, the sun turned me into the Prince of Darkness. I don't know if you're being honest. Like you're
a lot of mixed babies are very white when they're born.
That's what I was told. Like my one friend, he got darker with age. Now me, on the other hand, I know it sounds weird, but like I was very dark as a young kid. Like the Sicilian in me came out way more than it came out now. Like I was tan in the winter and dark in the summer, to the point where, the waspy church I went to, one of the kids had a cousin visiting and he asked if I was black. Like, cause these were total waspy kids. Like, is he one of them? That type of kid. And I was like, what? Like, I could understand Spanish, but what? So it does change,
I would say my point in favor of this race swapping they did was aged up Laena is hot.
Hot mess.
Yeah. Well, she was.
Laenor. I'm sorry. Laena.
Yeah, the sister.
The sister was smoking hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Laenor's all right as well, but yeah.
In a pinch, he'll do. Yeah.
Did you say anal?
He looks nothing like her brother, and her kids don't look right.
Right. That's another thing we'll get into too. Oh, like, why didn't we age up Kristen Cole?
Yeah.
Why is my thing so dark? I don't know. But I don't understand.
Did they change Harwin? He looked different, but I couldn't tell.
He had more facial hair.
Yeah, I think it's the same actor though.
Okay.
It's the same actor from the birth Aegon's second naming day one.
Yeah, and Lars would have been changed because he's a younger guy compared to everybody else. Right. Like he should have been aged up. Like it was age up everybody or age up nobody.
They aged the women.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And don't they rarely? And they aged up the women and the not so straight guy.
Yeah.
Well,
that's it.
Well, yeah, Lionel got aged up, and so did the king. So,
but that's also weird because the black people wouldn't have been aging that fast.
But wait a minute, the king didn't get aged up. It's called makeup. We're saying actors were changed.
Oh, you mean actors? I thought you meant they looked older.
Yeah, no. Yeah. The king looks terrible.
Well, you can tell by looking at this scene who directed the episode, though.
But, why do you say that?
Sapochnik.
Dude, I'm so glad he's gone.
Because of how dark it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's so dark.
Not even that. Just his comments.
That too.
Yeah.
This is Ryan. Ryan, I'm glad it's Ryan's show. He brought on another great director, another good partner. But it's his now. He is the showrunner. I think it's singular. I don't think there's anybody else. There's no Dan and Dave. There's none of that bullshit. It's one showrunner the way it should be.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we come up to Karen Hightower, Queen Karen. Because
is she getting her dress sewn or something weird like that?
Let's see.
Oh, why is it so dark?
Yeah, I don't know. Is that my computer?
It's Sapochnik.
Yeah, she's getting her dress done. I don't feel like it was that dark. Right. It's very it's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, Katina's in the house. Hi, Katina. Yeah, it's just really wrong. They did you get the vibe that they were trying really hard to make her the villain?
Yeah, well, that's what even the actress said that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She referred to herself as essentially the Trump of the Donald Trump of the series.
No, they told her to think of herself as a Trump supporter, but I think she said no, I wouldn't do that. I remember reading somewhere she actually was like, "No, I'm not going to play this like a female supporter of Trump." Did anybody ever see anything about that?
I've been trying to avoid it.
Yeah, because it ruins the show. The way I look at it
how
is
that acting direction? I don't get that. How is that
exactly.
direction?
Like you just assume she's not an actual Trump supporter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you assume all female Trump supporters are like a vicious queen that rips babies out of the mother's hands. Like, there is not supposed to be like an evil queen or an evil princess. This is supposed to be, again, George loves the shade of gray.
Yeah,
like
the whole
she
point
has
of
her
Princess.
reasons.
Yeah, the princess and the queen. When you read that chapter and everything, you do not know who's in the right and who's in the wrong because they're both extremely flawed.
Yes.
This one, if you don't have any sympathy for Rhaenyra by the time that this scene's over, then they've completely failed because they push very hard.
Yeah.
To go, okay, well, this is your protagonist and this is your antagonist.
Well, like, this is what I think too. If you look at it, the queen, the way they have it set up is she's the bad one in this episode. But if you look at, just back out and look at it like on paper, her father commanded her to hook up with the king. She marries the king at like 15, has a bunch of kids with him. Mm-hmm. Father gets fired. And as he's leaving town for good, turns to her and says, your children are going to die. If you do not, she will kill your kids. Mm-hmm. Like, how can you not like accept that she has a right to defend her family?
Well, that's the thing, that all of those factors should be her motivation as an actress, not modern day news reports. Like,
absolutely.
It's stupid how if they gave her that direction, then I'm glad that she didn't take it because I don't think she did.
Mm-hmm. She wears green all the time.
It's not just that, Otto warns her that her family's going to be in danger. She can see Rhaenyra damaging her own claim to the throne, because now her line of succession is kind of in the question because who's going to come after her? A bastard born person from some random person. Now she's seeing that Rhaenyra's going to get desperate later on.
Right.
Who's the first person she's going to lash out to besides her kids who have a better claim?
But see, that threw me a little bit because once she becomes the ruler in her own right, even if there was a question about her kids' legitimacy, she could legitimize them.
Mm-hmm.
That happens all the time. We see it within this world. So,
look at Aegon the Unworthy.
Yeah,
right. It's Aegon the Unworthy that the Blackfires come from. Correct. I'm pretty sure.
You've had kings appoint kids who aren't their kids,
right,
as their heirs. So that was a little, I don't know.
Well,
the conflict is slightly contrived.
I disagree from a mother's point of view. Like, these kids are your brothers. They're males. They have a right to rule, and you're going to have bastards. Kids out of wedlock, bastards, become their king. Like, I can understand why she was ticked off by that. Like, these are, like, you're a whore. Like, in her mind, you're a whore.
Yeah, I think from her perspective, she's followed the rules.
Yeah.
And has been miserable in doing so. And by doggone it, you're going to do it too. You're going to comply.
Right.
You're going to follow the rules or you're going to be ousted.
Right.
I think part of it is still a little bit of jealousy.
Yeah. Oh, I don't doubt. I mean, think about her life, like her just getting ridden by the king and her looking up at like the rat and stuff. And they love to put the rats out there, Jayne. They're really setting something up there. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Bet you the castle smells like cheese. That's what it is.
Zach?
We could identify with the younger Alicent much more, and I think they put a lot of work into having us do that, and they changed the way the character was portrayed to an extent from the book, but this is a complete departure, it seems like. I don't know, why would you do that? Yeah,
I feel like they just went, they didn't show the human side of her,
No.
until the very end.
Yeah.
Until the very end, where
And,
she's,
and I like that too, because all throughout the episode, we see Rhaenyra being confronted with consequences
Mm-hmm.
for her actions. And I think
Mm-hmm.
at the end there, as self-righteous and perhaps even justifiably so, Alicent is, her actions are also having consequences that
Yep.
aren't necessarily positive for her. And she finally is confronted with those too. So there's no, like you said in the beginning, there's no one person who's absolutely good or absolutely bad. They're
Mm-hmm.
all making some bad decisions, and they're going to have to deal with the repercussions of it.
Right. So I just want to read. Yeah, that's valid. I like that, Jayne. I want to read this though. I like what Andy said here. I change it just a little. I think her wearing green all the time represents the fact that she refuses to change. She is always at war. She rides the banner of war. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, it does. So at first, she was told to wear her mother's dress. She
Mm-hmm.
was told to look older, to look more sexual at a young age. It wasn't until the dinner scene for the wedding where she decided to wear the green dress. That was her call. And I really feel like that was her moment where maybe from that moment on, she hasn't changed. And I kind of like where you're going from that. Now, Bosch says her putting on the green shows she has changed. I think it's a little bit of both. I feel like the green to her is it's her battle cry. It's her banner, her banner. Like I am a high tower and I will fight this.
She even makes her
See,
kids wear green.
Say that again.
She even makes her kids wear green, like when they're in the courtyard.
I missed that. I'm gonna have to check that out. I missed that.
I wonder. Well, I guess because Viserys is so sick, he because of his personality and trying to keep the peace, he's allowing her far too much. He's deferring to her, I think, far too much.
Way too much.
Because you're a Targaryen. This is your dynasty and this is your legacy. And you shouldn't be allowing your children and your wife to undermine that in your presence.
Right.
Because it's like, it reminds me of Cersei and how at every opportunity she would try to dress like, her family instead of embracing the Baratheon.
Correct. Yeah, no, I agree with you completely there. She is kind of like Cersei. She, like, again, instead of being Baratheon, her kids all look like Lannisters, dressed like Lannisters. We got an echo. Echo gone. So I agree with you. She is keeping, like, she wants everyone to know she is a high tower. And I think that is her sign. Oh God, Viserys too. He just looks terrible.
I think that having him on the show, less Viserys, makes him even more starkly reasonable, because in the scene at the small council where he's like, yeah, that makes sense. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
That he's right. That does make sense. And you should just do that. And as the king, you should probably say, actually, you guys are going to do that. But because he's taken that step back, he won't force it.
Right.
He probably should.
He's allowing them to run over him. Something I noticed too, Jayne, that was reversed, right? In the books. Wasn't it Alicent who offered that match?
It was. And that, we talked about that too.
Cool.
I don't like that change. I feel
no,
like
me either.
they've cut her too hard, too quickly into this person who's at war, basically.
Right.
I think at this point she should still be trying to be conciliatory, but they've just drawn their line in the sand, and when they cross over to the adults, it's like now they're at war.
Right.
And she stopped playing the game. That's the whole point. She's clearly forgot how to play. She's clearly forgot how to play the game. And we last left her off when she's like, no, I'm going to start playing the game now properly. I'm going to start doing it. And now she's throwing her pieces everywhere. It doesn't make any sense for her character.
And they should have moved that line back to when she was having the discussion with her dad. That would have been the place for her to say, okay, well, what about we can marry them? Our kids can marry. And then he could shoot that down. And here we could, move forward.
And this kind of pays it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that would have been a way better way, because it is a smart move, but the way they're playing it, that everyone definitely knows these kids are bastards. In her mind, you're going to marry your bastard child off to my legitimate daughter. who is a seer. She's a green seer or something.
Yeah. And two, I think from her perspective, her family is of substantial standing and whatnot. One of the things I was talking with someone else about, and I was kind of kidding and kind of not, Rhaenyra has the worst choices in paramours. Like, she's basically sleeping with the help.
Yeah.
If she had slept with somebody of a higher standing, I don't think it would have been as controversial. It would still been controversial, but she would have had, I think, more opportunities than sleeping with the literal, like, whatever he is.
He's like the gold cloak captain.
Yeah.
I mean, they are the Strongs, though. I mean, they are House Harrenhal, which is, granted, cursed, but it is considered a great, not the Strongs, but the House Harrenhal is a great house. You know what I mean? So, but who could have been, also, okay, if you're going to
around with a Stark, it might be a little bit different.
I mean, here's the thing. Why? It's times like this, you just got to think back. Yeah, maybe I should have fucked my uncle.
Right.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you ask Mushroom, he taught her everything. What bothers me is this.
What they're doing with Mushroom. That is Mushroom, by the way.
I know, dude. I found out.
And that's it. That's him in the series.
That's it.
That's it. He's not credited in.
He should be in the background somewhere. Always in the background. He should be. Anyways, that's stupid. But before that, one thing I found really dumb, like, you are the princess. Your father has warned you that your succession, like, is not, like, when he dies, you might be screwed. Like, you need to do everything to cement it. And by marrying Laenor, it helped that. Why not just be like, dude, if you have to have sex with a guy and me, like, we just got to get me pregnant. Like, you just got to get me pregnant. Like, you actually had bastards. All your kids are bastards with somebody else. Like, that just shows you're an idiot.
Well, we don't know for a fact that that's the case. It's heavily implied.
But I think not only is it implied though, but the way they're treating Harold, whatever his name is.
Laenor.
No,
Harwin.
Harwin. The way they're both treating Harwin, they're deferring to him as the father of the children.
Oh yeah, it's like
they know.
Yeah, like Laenor has no issue. You're the dad.
Which means that they both were stupid enough.
Yes.
To not consider having legitimate children and then fool around.
Yeah.
It's not even that. Last episode they said,
try to get closer to your mic, Mason.
We're going to do our duty to our family, which means you have to continue the line, meaning you have to have some legitimate children, and then you can do what you want on the side. But they completely forget that and don't do it.
She's adamant, even when they're speaking with each other, that those are his kids. What if she knew that it wasn't? Why would she emphasize that?
Sorry, guys, I missed this. Thank you, Zach. I missed this one. Sorry, Andy, I totally missed this. 10 pounds. You can avoid any future strikes by adding rap music. Mads can help you with to your clips. Honestly, though, what they're doing to you is a travesty. You're an awesome YouTuber and a remarkable human being. Andy, thank you so much, man. Again, make sure you support Andy because he says nice things about me.
And he gives you the proper monies.
Yeah, he gives me proper money. I think he has a channel, I was told. I don't know. But yeah, just go and support him. Give him a sub. Let's put his link in the chat a couple times, people. He really deserves it. He's a good human being. The channel's under attack, people. Like the quartering, I'm in trouble. Help me.
I think, though, when she was telling him that was about sort of shoring up their position. Like, you have to get it in your mind that these are your kids and stop acting like they aren't.
Right.
And you need to be at court, by my side, acting like we're a couple because you're not. He's just frolicking around with his boyfriends.
I mean, so open and blatant about it.
So open that everybody knows.
A lot of that is going on in the show where everyone should know what's going on. It's all being, obviously paraded in front of them all. And did they not have turkey basters in Westeros?
Right.
Just use that.
Right. Like, dude, I'm with you on that. Like, it's ridiculous to think a learned, smart woman would be this dumb. A learned, smart gay man who could be like killed if he's found out to be officially gay in this world. Is that open about it? And is that dumb about it too?
And she does it over and over and over again. She has 3 kids.
Yeah, that's
the first time. Okay, whoops.
And that's what doesn't the queen say that, Zach?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The queen actually
once,
says that.
Once is an accident, three is an insult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. She could have at least had the first child be legitimate. And I also, to be fair, the parents, because they married them young, the parents should have set them down and said, look, this is how you play the game. You cannot have illegitimate heirs.
Right.
So whatever you do, we're not going to try to tell you what to do. You're adults now. But you need to have legitimate heirs.
Right.
And then fool around with whatever, your consorts. And I think nobody actually sat them down and had that conversation, because Rhaenyra has shown herself even as a kid. She wasn't the brightest person.
Right.
Everyone tried to teach her. Her dad tried to teach her. Daemon tried to teach her. She wasn't listening.
She's an idiot.
She's
an idiot.
Is.
What's up? Release the McCracken. One of the best memers out there. Legion of memes. Memers. I don't get memed enough to remember the name.
And I also don't. I hate the wigs, and I hate to keep coming back to them.
They're terrible.
But they're so bad. Like, why are they so bad?
Well, they got the wardrobe department from Rings of Power to do the wigs. So
yeah. I love this part. Can I hold my son? Yeah. Oh yeah. Here. He's a good looking kid. Can I name him after my gay boyfriend that got beat to death, and we're gonna pretend like Kristen Cole didn't do it?
I also like when the Queen in the early one says, "Don't worry, one day you get one that'll look like you."
Yeah, that was a good one. But like, okay, I know it's been 10 years, but Kristen Cole murdered a man, and not just any man, like a lord, in the freaking like reception to a wedding.
It wasn't like in the books when it was the jousting thing, and then he died like 7 days later.
Right.
This was just strange. Like maybe the Queen pardoned him.
Yeah. And don't forget, well, even that, man, like there's no animosity. Like the younger version of Laenor would be more of a man around him. Like he seems so Kristen Cole. Like you should want to kill that dude every time. Like you just named your son after the dead guy, and yet you don't even give him a bad look when you're going to the Queen's room.
He also hit Laenor.
Say it again, Zach.
He also struck Laenor. He didn't just. I mean, he killed the guy.
Oh yeah,
he punched Laenor too.
Yeah.
He doesn't come across as a dragon. Like I always thought of the dragon riders as being very volatile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe because of their blood or whatever, but he doesn't have that. He's so laid back.
Well, the telepathic connection between a rider and their dragon, I always felt like gave them more fire. Right. You know what I mean? Like the actual person is more fiery when need be.
That makes sense why the series is a lot more laid back.
Yeah.
But when he's provoked, he saw a little bit of it.
Yeah.
He represses it, I think, because he doesn't want to give way to that, to his detriment.
Yeah, it's strange. Really quick, 2 shout outs. Cannoli Sasquatch. I don't know if he's at 100 subs yet, but he's close. So please throw Cannoli Sasquatch. He has a goal of hitting 100 subs in his first year. I hope he gets there. Frankie Knows is part of the ETEP crew. Make sure after this you guys go over to ETEPs and check him out. And Flaccid Phoenix is also under attack. Good dude sent me some information to try to help me with my fight against YouTube, even though I lost within 3 seconds. I lost all 7 cases. Whatever. No big whoop. 21st of December. A lot of clips coming out that day. Yeah, so check all those guys out. So this is the scene where now with Harwin, who is in front of the other kids, like pretty much, like if you don't know he's your dad, and even the kid later on, am I a bastard? You know, like you did that to your children.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will give him props for one thing. The kids freaking look like him.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to say, like, and okay, I'm a sucker for big strong men being affectionate with kids. And
good dads, right?
Yeah, good dads. Like, and you can clearly see that there is a connection there. Whether it's something like he's definitely the father, or it's just implied. Whether he even knows.
He's like, oh no, he knows.
Yeah.
That's not implied, dude. Everybody in this group knows that's his kid. Like, there is an understanding between the 3 of them right here. That's his child. They know all of them are his child. Like, that's the stupidity of this group.
Right.
The kids know.
The
All of it's
the
happening.
sheer
at court.
hubris.
Yeah, the shit. Say it again, Jane.
It's just everything is happening in the castle.
Right.
It's just so reckless.
Yeah. It's so reckless. And it's in the castle. Jane, you said it perfectly. There's someone right outside the door right now.
At all times.
At all times. Even when the queen's talking to Clubfoot, like they're literally talking about murdering people and like his own family. And they're just, I know like at one point someone walks in and they like stop for a second. They're outside the door. You know, like they're listening before they walk in.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Even Rhaenyra knows about all of the tunnels and all the walls in the Red Keep.
Right.
She should be even more cautious.
Right. And there's a scene where he's talking to his father and she's like standing in, not like in a secret passageway, but in a staircase. Like you're going to have that discussion on a balcony that anybody could walk up and you're not going to be able to know they're there. That is dumb.
So ridiculous.
I've noticed that a lot more, that their openness to talk about things in public.
Mm-hmm.
While walking through, like with I don't know if we've already seen the bit yet with the Queen and Kristen. So Kristen.
I don't think so.
Yeah, like that whole conversation. I'm like, that's a pretty blazing thing to be doing out in the open. But I'm noticing that a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. And Shane says even Cersei had the sense to keep Jaime away from the kids because you would see the resemblance.
Exactly.
Yes. Thank you.
You know, if that's your side piece, don't have him next to the kid. I don't care if you're like madly in love with the man. Like you are putting everybody, your children will be murdered.
You know, this kind of reminds me of, this is maybe a bad example, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Later seasons of Walking Dead, when characters that you knew were smart and they've been smart this entire time, just do the dumbest things to move the story forward that makes no sense. And then you can't watch it anymore.
It's like Game of Thrones, later seasons.
Yes, true. That true. That too.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, absolutely, man. It is like that.
But it also shows that she hasn't grown like or matured at all.
At all.
And suddenly she's figuring out that this could be a problem politically.
Yeah. I would actually say she regressed.
Yeah.
You know, this scene's pretty cool. All the kids, we get to see the kids interacting with each other in the dragon pit.
I love the dragon lore we're getting out of this too.
Yes. Like we're learning so much about the dragons. And he's like, what are these brothers again? They're, I forgot what they're called, but they're like the dragon keepers and they're very cool.
See, I couldn't figure out what they were saying because every time I changed the translation, it would just said something in High Valyrian. So I didn't actually know what he was saying and whether
the person next to him was translating.
Yeah,
I'm saying whether that was a true translation or not.
Well, I think like one was like stop, halt, like it was like a halt.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why don't the children speak Valyrian?
Okay, so it was weird because I feel like they know some words, but not the language, right? Because he was. Why did you need him to interpret if he was speaking Valyrian?
Yeah.
Unless it's like a different version, like a bastardized or not High Valyrian, but like a
common High Valyrian.
Right? Like a common Valyrian.
I feel like that was a little strange.
It's
I
cool.
wonder if Alicent's children do know the language.
Ooh, that's a good question. Also, look at Daemon teaching his daughters.
Yes.
I found that to be really cool too. Like Daemon actually is the person at this moment I would rather have ruling.
I would too. He seems very interested in history and culture and preservation. Now, granted, it comes from a point of superiority.
Right.
He thinks they're a different breed, which they are, I guess.
They are. They're like the elves.
Well, he's the only one in the series that's read the book, so he knows.
Yeah, he knows the ending.
Yeah, he takes it all very seriously, and he has had a point this entire time.
Yeah. Heading off to bed. Oh, sorry. Zombie Bucks review. That's Andy for £2 heading off to bed. Keep fighting the good fight, guys. Please make sure to subscribe to Andy. He is a really good dude. Like really good dude. The dragon looks
My boy
awesome.
Andy.
The baby dragon.
The baby dragon is awesome. I love when they bring the sheep out and you're like, oh, that's gonna be toast. That's a dope part too. And we get to see the kids interact, and they're just cousins being dicks.
Yep.
Yeah, I instantly thought we were going to get Joffrey vibes with Aegon and everything, and he was going to be this real mean sort of thing. But he seemed quite fine. Like
He seemed like he was just a prick, not a psychotic. You know, like what I mean? Like he just seems like he could be a prick.
Yep.
I agree. I think they're laying the foundation though for the other one to possibly be psychotic.
Well, I mean, we know what happens with him.
yeah,
Then we won't ruin that.
I
But
love how they're being taught though, like
yes,
how to handle their dragon and what they need to do. And I didn't know that they only take orders from the rider ever.
once the
apparently.
bond is created.
Yeah.
okay. This is the part that I when I heard that I'm like, then how were the Dragon Keepers able to keep them down there if they're not taking orders from them?
I think it's
Well, I
because
think
they
that's why
agreed
they're
to
all
it.
and they're all scarred up and shit. You know, like
Yeah. Because the
that
dragon
is a valid point, though, dude.
I think it's that's the thing too. We're getting it's very subtle, but we're getting the tradition and the lore. I think these people, I forget what they're called, but it may be that they've had, trained. For one, they may be of Valyrian blood.
Right.
So that could be part of it.
Well,
Right.
And two,
weren't they initially in the books?
I
The
it's
Dragon
very
Keepers still.
if it is in the books, it's very
they're
minimal.
mentioned. They are
Yeah,
mentioned,
it's minimal.
but we don't get any information about them or how they came to be or
Yeah,
how
okay.
they learned to train them. But it feels like it's a generational thing. And like this is almost like a brotherhood or cult, not cult.
Either that or it's a form of
No,
like a blood
I would
magic
put-
maybe
I-
or something.
I would
a
put a
monastic
cult,
order.
A church and order, yeah.
but it is a cult in a way. It's not in the sense of we drink the Kool-Aid. It's in a, like I think Zach kind of put it better. What did you say? In a what way?
Like a monastic
Yeah.
order,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But
And it bothers me now a lot. All of a sudden that they're not speaking Valyrian. Why would you not have them speak Valyrian? That makes no sense. And that
See,
would
I
have added a
think-
ton.
No, I get that. I think that's Alicent's doing. She doesn't want the kids to do that.
No, but
because-
it's also Rhaenyra's kids.
It could be an archaic form of Valyrian.
He seems to be speaking something different. Like
Right.
he's the older, grizzly, scarred up dragon keeper, Barak Torresara.
And
Like
if this
all
is
right.
If it's an old order, that may be the language that they pass down to all their new members, and it may have a special connection or knowledge or whatever
Right.
that the dragons understand better, maybe.
Yeah, they did make it. They did make a little mistake there by saying like they only listen to, but again, they're not really. They're more or less guiding the dragons. They have sticks. They're far away. Like they're almost like taming. They're not the lion tamer, but they're the guys who move the lion. If that makes sense. Like the
saw a little
lion
bit of
listens
that.
to the tamer.
We saw a little bit of that in the beginning too when we first see them.
Right.
And they're telling the dragon to come on or whatever. The dragon looks like, I guess I will.
Right.
yeah, so
It looks at her
I mean,
first.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if that's the case, and the riders are the only ones that can really give them orders or anything, perhaps there is, as I was saying, perhaps there is some sort of blood magic or something that allows them just a little tiny bit of control.
Yeah. Well, I believe, like Jayne said, they're Velaryon. They're of Velaryon descent.
They
I
feed
don't,
them too.
and
so-
I doubt they were slaves, though. I think this is like an order, like some type
Yeah.
of almost religious, but not religious order.
Well, I
think
can
they'd
see
be
people
slaves.
worshipping dragons as gods. I can see that.
Yeah. You wouldn't want these people to be slaves because they clearly have some influence over
Right.
these things, and that could be bad for you.
So all right, so we got this part. Now the next part comes up. We meet the kids a little bit more, and Aemon, we find out is the only one out of the kids that doesn't have a dragon. So they
Aw.
said, we got you a dragon, and it turns out to be a pig with the kids put a wing on, and it's a girl too, a female pig, a sow, is it? So he definitely is hurt by that. He is upset. So what does he do? The smart thing. He goes down into the dragon pit by himself.
Again.
Again.
They make a point that he did it again.
Well, I mean, it works out for him later on, but
I think he's trying to bond with one.
yeah. Well, think about it. You are a Velaryon and you do not have that connection to a dragon. Like I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed and want, like, almost to the effect like you would want anything to get there. You know what I mean? Like anything to get yourself a dragon. And if that means I can't get on the goddamn dragon. I'm trying so hard to.
Do we know what dragon that was?
You know what? No, I don't think so. Goddamn dragon.
I don't think so.
Do you reckon they're going to bring in the cannibal at all at some stage, or?
Huh?
The cannibal.
Oh, there are a couple I'm wondering about.
I think at one point we will.
Like, there's some that aren't Velaryons. You know what I mean? Like
The wild ones, yeah.
Yeah, the wild ones and stuff. There, I got it.
That's so hot.
How awesome is that, though? That's hot.
But he didn't burn the kid. He was just mad.
Yeah, exactly. Just showing off.
Yeah. You're not supposed to be down here.
Yeah, I can't tell what dragon that is.
He's like, every time the kid comes down here, I try and show him my cool trick and he runs away.
That's only one of the only older dragons, so I'm trying to figure out who that would be. It's not hers. It's not Rhaenyra's. Is it Sea Smoke or whatever his name is?
No, it's too dark.
No, too dark, right?
He's not built that way either.
And Sea Smoke has a long neck.
Yeah. That's weird.
But there are some down there that aren't claimed yet.
Then we go on to this scene where she looks so enthralled by what her daughter's teaching her.
Her daughter's weird.
Her daughter's weird, but she's the only one to me that looks like an actual Targaryen.
I think that's implied that she might be on the spectrum.
No, she's a dreamer.
Yeah, she's a dreamer.
I believe yeah. Did you get that too? Like, she literally gives a prophecy.
She does.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what she says, but it's something to the effect of when she's talking to her when the queen is talking to Aemon, she says, "You will be a dragon rider someday in a great night," and she goes, "It will take one of your eyes, or one of your eyes before that happens." Like she's definitely like Dany the Dreamer, or she's prophetic in some way. So maybe that's a spectrum thing. I don't think so, but she definitely has a power. Now she's talking about the insects, but it seems like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
So that's what he said. He'll be a rider. He'll have to close an eye. That's right.
He'll be a rider. He'll have to. Oh wow, I put it perfectly there. Hold on, let's move here. And Alicent responds, "Not to her. I know it." Yeah. So like that's pretty crazy. Like she actually says it, and Alicent says, "I know it," but she's not responding to her. She's talking to Aemon.
Yeah.
What do you think about the insects? There's something about him that made me. I don't know. I
think she's foreshadowing something with the dragons, but I don't understand it yet.
Like she talks about like they're blind, but they could still see, something like to that effect. Like
they have eyes, but they're unable to see. Is what she said. So in other words, they're blind to what's going on around them.
Yeah, is she talking about the Targaryens, not the dragons, but the Targaryens?
She's talking about the Targaryens. About there's multiple factions, and they're even at the moment, and they curl up on each other. So I mean, that's what I took from it.
Yeah, that I kind of dig what you mean about the dragons too, but I think they're talking. She's like, it almost represents the Targaryens.
I mean, everybody in King's Landing has eyes, but they're not seeing what's right in front of them.
Right.
With Rhaenyra and her children, they're just not like saying anything. It could be like symbolism.
Look at her. She looks so like, I can't stand my daughter.
It's so weird too, because I thought that this was like an educational session.
Yes.
She was teaching her about bugs or whatever.
Right.
Science class.
But no. I think it would have been cool if they made the young actress that played Rhaenyra be her, the daughter. So they look like almost exactly alike, you know?
Oh, you mean like Orcock?
Yeah. It's beyond our understanding, she says. I don't want to get nailed, but a couple seconds here and there. It's
Alicent
interesting.
isn't really paying her any attention
At
She's
all.
just randomly responding.
Yeah. Like even that reach, like she doesn't get closer to her. She leans and she doesn't lean with the whole body. She just leans with her arm just to touch her. Like, yeah, they're there.
No.
You know.
Yeah, if you know what, your kids can sense stuff, and when you look that bored talking to them, they know.
Yeah.
But then we go on to the growing, like it's almost as big as his room now. His model of Valeria.
She seems. Oh.
No, please go ahead.
Just in this moment too, where she comes in and she's talking to him about the children.
Right.
And she doesn't want to blame her kids.
At all.
They're perfect little angels.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hated that.
Do you have to go, Zaxx?
Oh yeah, Zaxx, is it time for you?
Yeah, I gotta run. Thanks, guys.
All right, man. Yeah, you're so big time now. Good to see. No, just kidding, brother.
I gotta work. Actually, it's not fun. And I'm actually going to be going on vacation for the next few weeks, so I won't be here for the next 3 shows.
Wow. You'll make it to the final.
Yeah, if you have me back, I'd love to be back. Thank you so much.
You're always welcome, man.
This has been fun.
As long as you don't hit 20K subs by then, you're good.
Yeah, if you hit 20K subs, we're on your channel.
So yeah, why not? No, this has been awesome. I've had a great time with you guys. Thanks, chat. Yeah, so this has been fantastic. So when I come back, I'd love to come back to the show.
You're always invited to this stream by the Crossroads, my friend.
Cool. Thanks, man.
All right, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
You too, man. Have a great one.
You too.
Bye, Zach. Bye,
All
Zach.
right.
Chat
Bye.
loves you. No one cares. Okay. On we go. So yeah, you're absolutely right about this scene. Like, I hate this. This is Cersei. Like, her kids did no wrong. Let's kill them. Let's kill the wolf. It's like that scene. Mason, were you going to say something?
No, he's still away.
Okay.
No, I think it's worse because I think with Cersei, she was all about her family's better and everything. She's vindictive to the point where she just wants them to suffer now. Like, that's what I get malice from her.
Her and Kristen. And what do you believe?
No, Sir Salty Bitch. You gotta call him.
Yes, Sir Salty Bitch. Do you believe like she has played this out in her head? Like, she will get them all killed? And he even
100%.
implies that, right, Jayne? He implies that to her. Like, this is like you're asking for like exile and death.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, he tries to explain to her she doesn't understand the consequences or the weight of the accusation she's making against the heir. So,
Right.
I mean, like Rhaenyra or not, or like what she's doing or not, she is the heir, and if you challenge that, it's war. Period. But I also didn't like how they're using the children. Like, they're innocent in all of this.
Right, like pawns.
Exactly, and they seem to be forgetting that her son is her heir too.
Mm-hmm.
So how you're mistreating them and putting them in danger, you're basically poking a literal dragon.
Right.
Not just that. You're essentially saying to the king, by the way, these actions that I'm doing, I want to kill your grandchild.
Right, your grandchildren.
Your children. I want to stop. I want to stop that line completely.
Right.
I'll
be right back. Keep talking.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is they are still his blood. I mean, their father may not be, her husband, but they are Targaryen children. They are his grandchildren, and they would still have status even if they weren't heirs. So how she's just not thinking. None of them are really.
Yeah.
Not to mention, what about retaliations? And I think he was trying to stress
that's what I was going to say. You're going to piss off people who have a lot of dragons.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have any dragons.
Well,
they do.
Babies. They have baby dragons at this point.
Yeah, well, I mean, one dragon, any of the dragons will be able to destroy the baby ones. What I'm saying at the moment, she has no real power.
No.
When it comes to this.
Which is why I felt like they rushed her positioning herself and her stepping into this role as the opponent to Rhaenyra, because she's not strong yet, and she would know that. That's why it made more sense in the books, where she was the one who proposed marrying their children. because
she
she
prefer.
felt she was weak, and she is in fact weaker right now.
She is in fact weak, and hence when she has her alliance with Clubfoot and everything, she
Mhm.
has to play the game a certain way because she can't be this. She can't act like a dragon because she isn't one. And that's what she's
Exactly.
doing at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And also, she does her son dirty a little bit later as well.
yeah. And just quick mention for everybody out there, when you walk away from your computer, take your headphones off. I literally went, ugh, and the whole thing went flying. I was like, oh, gee, it was awesome. So yeah, she's playing with lives, and I don't think until the very end she realized exactly what she's doing.
Yeah.
And then
Not
he
only
brings
that, no, she's threatening her own family. I mean, essentially, but she's also, by doing this, she's threatening the Velaryons, which is the richest house. So it's like you're threatening people who could pay people to have you killed.
Yes.
Like, you're making so many mistakes.
And wouldn't you just get rid of her?
Well, I mean, there's also, not to play devil's advocate, but her life is within the Red Keep. She never leaves.
Right.
Yeah.
Like she's essentially a prisoner in this thing. So this is her entire world. She probably can't even perceive that there's stuff outside of the castle.
That's a really valid point, man. When I worked within the prison systems, like their whole life is watching you, finding ways to mess with you.
Yeah.
Like that's their whole life because they have nothing else to do. So if she is that type of prisoner where she doesn't leave, like her whole life is just watching other people. And we were told in earlier seasons, she loves gossip. She loves this type of stuff. So like, it's just gotten so much more dramatic. And her father laid the seeds, you know, your children will be killed. But at some point, I don't think until again, the very end of this episode, she realizes my whimsical or just my nonchalant suggestions can kill people.
And I guess too, the thing, her father, he was right to suggest that once her kids, ascend the throne, her kids would be, potentially at risk. But that would be true at anyway, no matter what, because she is the second wife, and her kids are second to the crown. So, she was always going to be sort of in that position of being at risk of being gotten rid of, simply by virtue of her position as, in relation to Viserys. But her father put her in that position, and she accepted that position.
Right.
So with that does come risk. When you decided to have children with the king, and your firstborn child was a boy,
Right.
you knew that already. Even if she married and was faithful and all of this, your kids would always be at risk by their descendants, and there would always be this potential for somebody to say, we have a better claim.
Yeah. But I mean, and that's the thing, like that it's a game of consequences. As we seen in the previous episode, going up and talking to a knight about the wrong thing can get you killed.
Yeah.
And
that's not even at the highest levels of the game.
Yeah, I think from the very beginning, again, I said this before, but I feel like there wouldn't be a story if people acted like they had good common sense.
Right.
Her first child
really
should have been sworn spouse to Rhaenyra's first child.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah, or to her.
Yeah.
Or to her. Yeah.
Yeah. And for the king not to go to that point, like I know Viserys is a weak king and a good man, weak king, but like you see it in this episode. He's broken. He's lost an arm. Like he looks like Mel Brooks in Spaceballs, as Yoda.
Keeper.
The Crypt Keeper. Yeah. Like it. You have like at points we've seen him have a couple nards, but he's lost his nards altogether. Wolfman don't have nards. What movie? Yeah, it's crazy. So then the two. Oh God, I hate these two.
Oh my God.
I hate him with a passion. But yet I gotta say he doesn't look like day over 10 years ago.
Looks the exact same.
That's what messes me up. Should have just aged up the other actors. I would have been fine with that.
This scene reminds me of Mean Girls.
Of what?
Anybody
Get
else
closer
get
to the mic, buddy.
I'm like right on my mic.
Okay, put it in your mouth.
We turn it up.
Do it slowly.
Do it slowly. Now tell me I've been a bad panelist. Okay, you don't have to if you don't want to. All right, we tried.
Why does Kristen look younger?
I'm telling you, man, like it's dumb. They should at least gave him some grays.
Dornish don't crack,
Dornish don't crack.
I guess.
I guess
Okay,
so.
it's better.
All right, yeah, that's better. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I said this scene reminds me of Mean Girls, and they're just like walking around.
Oh my God, that's a really good point.
It does.
Doesn't he call her the C word?
He
Yeah.
does.
Like,
Yeah,
okay,
she's a spoiled cunt, is what he says.
you're in the castle. Rock like that, like stone walls echo. Like literally, you could be on the other side and someone could hear you clear as day. The acoustics in there probably are fantastic. Like, and you blatantly call her a see you next Tuesday. Like,
But Alicent, to her credit,
yes.
did stop and look at him like that's a little bit too far, sir.
Yeah.
That
You
is so
forget
not
yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So, Mike, it's good to see you, my friend. How old would he be at this point? How old was he in the last one? He was like in his early 20s.
I think so.
Like the very last episode, he would have to be like early to mid 20s in that last episode because it was like 4 years later from when he started. So maybe in his early 30s.
Yeah. So he would look more or less the same.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing, all of them would, because they were so young to start with.
Yeah.
The aging up didn't make sense.
Not at all. Not at all. So again, I would like everybody to know, like, we're not bashing the show. Like, I really enjoyed this episode, but there are like things we have to discuss. I am not a channel that fluffs everything Martin does. And there are a lot of channels out there that I respect and I enjoy, but they will not speak badly about anything that Martin has his hands on. And like, we have to point these things out. Like, cause it's so much better than season 8 and 7 and 8, but it's not season 1 through 4. I don't think it is.
No.
Yeah, but old dragons and young dragons. Dude, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for him. I can't help it.
I love it.
I never thought I would be. I would like.
I didn't think I was gonna like this show, dude.
Especially the later scene.
Yeah.
Like you could see that they put a certain emotion in the dragon's face, and you could see it in there. And I'm like, oh, they feel sad.
I do like that. I like that they're slowly introducing the dragons and giving us a bit of their personalities.
Yep.
And that's gonna
Yeah.
make the war much more difficult.
Yeah, I agree, Jay, but I know why they're doing it, and I don't like that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like
I think they aged him. Jane said it.
Bond with his puppy that has cancer. Go on. It's like
Okay, let's put it this way. They should have waited a little longer to age up the females and Laenor. When they aged up the dragons, then age them up and the kids, because the kids have to age up one more time.
Right.
You know, so I think they just did it a little too early.
They rushed it. it. At this point, everybody should still be kind of young, and they can look young. I think it would have played better because they're still very immature and they're making immature decisions. So why not make them look that way?
Yeah. I don't know why it's so dark, but this is Mason. This is the scene where she like stares him down after he says the C word. And I was actually happy about that.
And also, isn't it weird that she lost height as well?
Why was she taller than? Yeah. Wait a minute. Oh my God. Wasn't she like the same height as him?
Yeah.
Okay. Mason, what were you going to say?
Isn't this like the last big jump? Like they might do like a few years, but the 10 years the biggest. Is that right?
They're gonna have to jump at least another 4 to 5 for the kids to grow up.
Yeah, because definitely because the
Aegon has to be. Aemon has to be older.
Yeah, we're not even close to the Sophie's Choice part yet. So
right.
yeah,
Is it 4 or 5 or is it another 10?
It might be another 10 actually.
It's got to be 10 because her Aemon's kids are like nearly adults.
Yeah, the kids have kids.
Yeah.
Oh shit, they do, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh my god, because it's okay. We're not going to go there, but yeah, that I totally blanked on what happens. Oh my god, you're so right. So why did they do it?
That's what I'm saying. This time jump here is a little weird because it's only going to be an episode or 2.
Right.
I think it'll be until I'm assuming that depending on what route they go, potentially Otto comes back,
right,
and then that'll be the last episode before another time jump.
Right, because we do see in future one of the trailers from before the season started, Aemon One Eye.
Adult Aemon, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to see that. Wow, man, they rushed this. Oh yeah, okay, let me jump past that. That was a great place to stop, though.
All I've got to say is, what a terrible mother. Let your kid finish, for Christ's sake.
Right, like barge in on him when he's like going. Like, how high up do you think he is? Did you think he was planning on just hitting somebody? Like, those are pretty high towers, though.
Look at his wig.
It's so bad.
How many times has she caught him doing this if she didn't like address it?
It was so nonchalant. Like, oh, son, masturbating at the window again. Like, what?
She knows her kids are dumb.
At least not having sex with commoners, even though he looks like he wants to.
And this is the part where I'm sorry. Mason has had the one-liner of the season where he says another what did you say? Another
this is continuing the Game of Thrones tradition of throwing kids out the window.
You get it, kids? Because he's get it. Anybody? No? Okay.
No, go into detail about it.
He's talking. Anyways, and look at her looking down at him. Hey, that's not good. Whoa. So, I mean, this is where like I found this kind of, because in the books, there's animosity with the kids from a young age. I mean, the cousins called the other cousins Strongs, and they're young when this happens.
I think with what happens at the end of the episode with the kid asking his mum, I think that plays into that. I still think that scene's going to happen. I think it's just probably going to be next episode.
Okay, after he's dead.
Yeah. So ultimately, we find out that it's Alicent who planted those seeds in the kids' heads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not even like we learned this somewhere else and it just, or we didn't like them from the beginning. They all got along. He was fine with being not the next in line and swearing fealty. And she will not, her father's words are racking her brain.
Well, the last thing he said was, "Listen, daughter." And he said it in that Welsh tone, so.
Yeah. So then we got something you should never do is fly when you're like 9 months pregnant. But we have dragon races. Vhagar is freaking dope. I love the saddles too. What is that on Vhagar? Is that hair? Is that supposed to be hair?
Hair.
Yeah, you got to understand, like when women get a certain age, they start to develop hair where they shouldn't normally. It's a natural cycle, whether it's human or dragon. You know,
Vhagar's a female, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he has a bunch of like seaweed or something stuck on.
Okay, I thought it was seaweed first too, but I think it's hair.
No, it's a hair. It's hair. That's what I'm saying. I love the idea of like an old dragon, female dragon, growing hair. Like it's just.
And she pisses on him.
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
She literally takes a. Yeah. She pisses on him when she passes him. That was awesome. But yeah, they're just flying around having a gay old time. Vhagar looks amazing. Okay, they can go up really, really high. They don't need to breathe. And that is dragon fire he flies through like it's nothing.
Yeah, that what was that about?
Anybody? Like to me, I would have been like, my wife just tried to kill me.
They're like, but on the other hand, it looks cool.
Yeah, he should not be able. He should not be able to fly through that. I'm sorry.
No, when I saw that, I'm like, oh my god, is he the prince that was promised? Well, I instantly went there and went, wait a minute. So that was the reason why we didn't get it before, because he was promised too early. Like,
Maybe they can withstand fire in small amounts because he flew through it quickly.
George
and also,
has,
it did dissipate a fair bit as well.
right, but
So,
George has said that Targaryens are heat resistant, but not fireproof. Danny,
Yeah.
that was a special moment with blood magic, blah, 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 blah. I mean, we also see Danny burn her hands when they fly out of the arena, the gladiator arena in one episode.
But he flew right through it though, so we may not have
Yeah,
had
maybe
enough time to.
he was going so fast.
Yeah.
So now they're
his hair still should have burnt.
Yeah, now they're in Pentos with a guy who looks like the dude from oh god, I said it when I saw it too. The minute I saw it, he looks like the tough ass guy with no emotions from oh god, they're in space on Amazon. What's it had 5 seasons?
The Expanse.
The Expanse. Doesn't he kind of look like a chubby version of Aemon or Amos or whatever the hell his name is?
Oh,
Amos,
Amos. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. So I like this scene because the guy just gives it to him straight. Like, we want your dragons. We'll give you a lot of shit for it. Nope. What did you guys think about this scene and her being against it and him like, we'll listen?
I got confused at first. I had to go back. I thought he was proposing marriage to her.
Oh.
I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Oh.
That was a joke that the daughter made.
Yeah. No, she
all.
made. She made about marrying off the daughters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he straight out was just like, look, we need aid against Volantis and Lys, I think maybe. We'll give you, I would have took him up on this. Gave him the castle, the grounds, the vineyard, all the money from the peasants. Like, yeah, I'll do it. I don't know about you guys, but I would have done it.
I would have too, but I think on the other hand, Laena was right that they're part of the royal family. They're incredibly powerful. They're
Right.
dragons. Retiring in Pentos?
Yeah.
It seems a little boring for right now.
They're
Well,
the blood of old
yeah.
Valeria.
Here's the thing: if I was in that scenario and that's what my wife looked like, I'd be doing whatever she said.
Yeah, me too.
I wouldn't be able to help it. Like,
Yeah. I mean, she's smoking hot.
And she had the wild spirit that he has.
Yes.
He's just suppressing it right now. And she
Really?
knows he's suppressing it.
And I love that about her. Like, she just tells it to him straight. Like, you are hiding. You are hiding in these books.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, this is not us.
I think he would make a good king. I'm putting it out there now. Like, he cares about the past. He's knowledgeable and everything. He's doing what a king would do.
Yeah. Shane is right. Pentos wasn't in the book. They were on Driftmark when her pregnancy happened.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the reason why they're incorporating more of these foreign references, honestly, is to justify how the Velaryons look. Basically, to suggest that they have these ties and really, because remember last time they were trying they were considering a wedding to a Braavosi.
Yeah.
So I think by including these ties with Essos, it's showing how connected their family in particular is to the rest of the world.
Right.
And why they're so different.
He does bring up like how before Aegon went and took over Westeros, he turned the other direction and aided Pentos. And I think it was Pentos against the Triarchy pretty much.
Yeah.
So there is a history there with Targaryens.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like that. So Tina's husband declared her the hottest babe on Hot D. Okay, so the one before her, she was like over 18, right? Like in real life?
Comment. I don't know. I'm not commenting either way.
Because she was an attractive young lady. That's all I was going to say. Nothing.
She was pretty, but I think.
This one is like hot.
Yeah.
She is hot. But they did a good job going from young to old with her. That's the only one I thought.
Yeah.
Maybe because they went from attractive to attractive.
Yeah. The wig is a little bit better, but it's still bad.
It's still bad, Jane. It is not good.
And she doesn't look right.
No.
They don't care.
No. Like, come on. I know places you can get a better like weave than that. I do.
Oh,
like
I thought you were gonna say
they do a
a better
terrible.
wife. I was like,
No,
wait,
like wigs and shit. Like there are so many better places I've seen, living in cities. Like
On
how
TikTok, I've seen plenty of girls with their hair like this color.
yeah.
It looks much more natural.
But hers looks better than most of the others. Like
Yeah.
Aegon, the young Aegon, it looked terrible. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. But she keeps telling Valeria's gone. We don't belong anywhere, and she's like, no, I want to raise my daughters in my homeland. Like she keeps reminding him, like they are Westeros. They are like the royalty of Westeros. It doesn't matter if he's a king or not.
Right.
He is still a ruler. And I thought that was really interesting that it didn't get to him, but I bet after what happens later on in the episode, it gets to him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's definitely a step up from the previous one. Like, she can ride a dragon. The last one couldn't even ride a horse properly.
I know. She fell off and hit her head. Woo.
And I think that's partly what attracts him to her, too. Is that she is so much like him and has the same sort of attachment to their culture.
And she's hot.
Well, yeah, she's hot.
Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't noticed. Oh.
Someone told me.
Complete package.
Someone told me. I not me personally. To be fair, Jayne, all the wigs on the show and original looked bad. White blonde wigs don't look good on most of these people. Dude, I disagree. Daenerys, it looked fine in the first seasons. I thought it looked actual natural.
Yeah. And the first Rhaenyra looked good.
Yeah. I almost thought the first Rhaenyra, that was her actual hair.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was.
It was a wig.
Yeah. But it wasn't until Dany later seasons her hair looked worse. God, that show got bad.
And I still don't like that they aren't giving them the true coloring.
Right.
In the hair and the eyes.
It's a platinum. It's a silver. Like I'm sick of blonde or white. Like give me like that silver look in the purple eyes.
I think it's because they think like it's too mystical or magical or what have you. But that's what we're supposed to see, that they are these things.
You look more Targaryen.
This is what they're supposed to look like.
Yep.
It looks otherworldly. It looks a race apart. It looks distinct among humans. Like that.
Yep.
That's their thing.
And the scene that changed it all.
Just
a couple bros and a dick instructor.
Can I also say just one thing? Seeing Lionel in this scene makes me go, this is probably the most noble bloke that's ever existed in this entire series.
Ever.
Like
he's more noble than Maester Aemon. Like the dude.
He can see better too.
He could see way better. That old bastard. Well, he only had one eye. Oh, wrong Aemon. My bad. No, like maybe not Maester Aemon, but his heart is just. It's about bettering the country of Westeros. Like it's not anything to do with the Strong family at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that to be refreshing. And then his son goes and blows it.
See, he's wearing the green under the.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Dude, I did not notice that before. Very good color. And the boys are wearing red, like Targaryen red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, again, and Harwin is a good man. And the shitty thing is, well, we're told that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, because I know in the books him and Cole have already come to blows over stuff, because aren't they calling him Broken Bones by now? Because he was the bone breaker, and then he got so Kristen Cole beat the shit out of him, broke his arm and everything, and they called him Broken Bones. Then I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't remember that,
because you've got no indication that this is the strongest guy in Westeros.
They never showed us once.
Yeah. Well, at the wedding when he came barreling through the crowd to get Rhaenyra.
Yeah, that's true. But I never imagined, even how much I didn't like him in the books, I never imagined Kristen Cole to be like using the kids like this at this age. Like,
but But yeah, in the books, he was like the Captain America. He was too freaking noble for his own good. He was,
Yeah.
he turned his nose up. But this, like, he's the salty bitch, plain
Yeah,
and
he
simple.
is.
Like, and the fact of the matter is that he's using the kids like that. Like, every time I see his face, I just want to hit the guy.
Yeah, and
Like-
there's no honor with this guy. He hit Daemon from behind to win the tourney. I'll still say that to the day I
Yeah.
die. He cheated. He banged the princess, even though now granted, people need to realize this. They take a vow. They don't take a vow of celibacy. It is in its tradition celibacy, but they take a vow not to have a wife or children or lands. It doesn't say like I won't get laid. So, but he beds an underage princess, an unmarried virgin princess. Like, and I don't care if they made it seem like he didn't know what to do, but the dude wanted to run away with her, even though he took a vow, like, to honor what the king's guard, and he's ready to just drop that and doesn't respect that. She's like, well, I have to be the queen. Like, this is my job.
Exactly. He's talking about all this honor about she's doing the wrong thing and everything. No, you're only pissed off that she didn't choose you. That's the issue. It's got nothing to do with your virtue or your vows or anything like that.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I wanted to marry you. What was it? He said, I want to marry you so I could essentially fix what I did. It's like, that doesn't fix it. You still did it.
Right.
Like, yeah, like he's a completely different character in this than I thought he would be.
Yeah, and not
punch him
teaching
right.
the strong boys, letting Aegon beat the crap out of the kid while he's on the ground. Like, I just found that to be wrong. Like, that's not what we thought of him.
The way he grabs the kid, he grabs him by the thing and just pulls him in and he's gone, fine, you're going to fight now. I'm like, and then he has a go at Harlan for touching the kid. It's like, dude, you did the same thing. You did it to a direct heir.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is, this is their little future king who they're throwing around like this.
Yeah, that kid right there on the ground is a future king. And they're treating him like he's the lesser.
Like he's a stable boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I get you don't believe in the paternity, but still, like, it's the optics. He is the future king no matter what. And you're letting him get beat. And then, they never have a moment where he becomes broken bones. So he actually kicks the crap out of Cole.
I think he lets him to.
Yeah, well, no, he does because he wants to show everybody right here. Or son. Like, what he should have done is turn around and be like, you're talking treason. Like, you are implying treasonous remarks. Like, the thing about Rhaenyra's crew is they never like use against that, like the other Alicent and her team always use like these terms against them. They could easily turn around. Like, she did it one time when they, who said your father said I slept with David?
Yeah.
That's treason. That's the only time she ever used it.
Well, not just that. He's the one who did it as well.
Yeah.
We know for a fact that he did.
Yeah.
Like, and he's going on like this, and he could have just turned around and gone, well, don't be jealous because she picked a better man or something like that, because then that would make Cole turn around and hit him.
Right.
And again, it's making them all stupid because you're right. All you had to do is turn around and bring up that word.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, say it again.
Yeah.
Because you can be immediately.
Yeah. You're implying.
What are you accusing me of?
It's like her son. It's like, it's like we didn't have the benefit of tea. So,
we can both die today.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
at least I didn't steal her maiden's head.
Right. Exactly. But like, he could easily, like you just said, he could still kick his ass and stand up and be like, what you said was treasonous.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is this kid touching himself again?
Yeah, I think he's jerking off. Yeah. He could be like, you could be strung up for this. Like, he could have even beat his ass and then turned it against Cole, but he didn't, because they don't think. They're all about emotion.
Exactly. What are you accusing the future queen of? Exactly.
Right. And he loves it. He starts laughing and shit. Piece of crap. So
but
then
he's too emotional and stupid.
Yep. So now she's playing around with her kid and finds out he did it. So she takes a secret passageway to just a hallway. And in the hallway, the Strongs are idiots and just talking about, treacherous shit. Like, I don't know why you picked this area to do it.
Mm-mm.
But again, he's still one of the greatest men. This guy. I love him.
He's trying to do the right thing.
He
And
is.
that, I will say too, the show has given me a different perspective on a lot of these characters. And going back to Otto Hightower, he's probably the one I hated
Yes.
before. And now I have a completely different understanding. I still don't like him, but I have a much more of a respect for him than I did before. And I like too that all of the fathers seem to really be coming from a good place.
Yeah. Yeah. They all care for their children.
Yeah.
Like they're biological, let's just say. You know what I mean? See, we were talking about this before, Jay. We were talking about they rushed this episode. So like there should be not even in between 5 and 6. Some of this should have been in 7.
Yeah.
I feel like they rushed it.
They did. They pushed too fast. But I don't know. Maybe they'll slow. I hope they slow down though.
Right.
Maybe they're trying to make this like an anthology series instead.
Well, that's what their plan was. It's going to be 3 seasons of this, and then they might take on a different Targaryen. Like they might do the Blackfire, or they might go back to Aegon. They said this should only take about 3 seasons. I don't know.
If they're going to go back to Aegon, then they need to be good with their casting. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
they're rushing so fast, though. I don't know how they're gonna get 3 seasons out of this.
No, not at this pace. I think this will be wrapped up by.
I don't know, dude. There's
If they
a lot
start
of
the
characters we haven't met.
Yeah, if they start the actual war with season 2.
Yeah, the actual war itself will be season 2.
Yeah. Well, we meet Laenor, not Laenor, and his friend.
All public, just out and about.
Just
out and proud.
Hey! You know, like, come on, man.
He taught me a new way to grip a sword. He's
And when I mean sword, I mean my penis. Do you get it?
And when I mean penis, I mean
penis. You know what I mean? Like my penis.
And then he looks at the camera and he's just like, winks. I'm black and I'm gay.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Like he goes total they go total what's that other show? Rings of Power. Like we got to explain it to you perfectly.
It's like, oh, I see that your friend there is wearing lipstick. Why do you have lipstick on your neck? Would it be because he kissed you?
Yeah.
Why do you have lipstick in other places as well?
Oops. Shit. I was trying
what
to
are you
do
doing?
I was trying to do something there. It's Elaine or Ellen and her girlfriend, but that didn't work. It would have been awesome.
Rossi.
Yeah, it would have been awesome. Cuz like it's just out and open.
They're married.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Damn it. Sorry.
Sesame Timbers. God.
I know, I totally screwed that up. Probably not. Yeah, this part really bothered me. Like, she is pretty much telling him, like, we are fudged. We are so fudged. And he's like, yeah, I'm thinking about going to the Stepstones and fighting. And when there's a storm, a sailor goes away from the storm.
Like what he said, I'm a warrior. And I'm like, could you have said that any more flamboyant?
Oh, my God, dude. I was so upset with this part. They made us believe he's a warrior. That's what bothers me. Like, they made us believe he is a warrior, and he's not. God, I really like this episode, but we're destroying it, aren't we?
Yeah, my ratings, my internal ratings going down now.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks, Mason.
I know. Good job, Mason. Stop talking so much. You have anything to add, Mason? Please jump in. You have anything you want to add? We've been talking straight for like an hour without you.
No, I mean, this is why I was saying it's probably more objectively closer to a 5. Because you have all of these different problems, but I still really enjoyed the episode.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, dude, I would like to see Rhaegar, like from his perspective. That would be kind of dope.
He got picked on. He got picked on as a little dragon and everything, and they said, "Oh, you're the smallest one," and then they teased him, and then
yeah, or
her.
Yeah, or Dunkin' Egg.
No, I've already eaten. Thank you.
Look at waggling his sword and winking at sailors. I am a knight. And she's like, for 10 years, I'll let you be a dirtbag. Like, let's.
She was also doing the thing.
Absolutely.
Allegedly, we don't know that.
And what she puts here, for 10 years, you have indulged yourself at court. Like, so when you say at court, it's out in the
public.
open. It's out in the open.
Yeah, it's just not smart.
No.
Look, all of her problems would be solved if she had one true heir.
Oh,
And
God,
said,
I
hey,
know.
this is the heir to Driftmark and the heir to the Iron Throne.
Yeah.
Well,
Or hear me out. If one of the kids was born with alopecia,
something. Like,
Yeah.
if one kid looked a little bit black, just his hair black, not black hair, but just like an eighth black Garrett.
I
Like,
don't think they were leaning on that, though. They were leaning on the hair color.
well, that's what they're pointing to is the hair color. But, like, seriously, they gave us this actor because they wanted to be so, we said it earlier, to be so dramatic.
I think the one that was 10 years younger looks older than this guy.
I think the one 10 years younger looked more masculine.
Yeah. Well, he actually had a round head. This guy's really skinny in the head.
They really did mess up.
They made him more effeminate.
Yeah, I hate it.
And let's be clear. If there's a guy that's riding a dragons or anything like that, he's gonna be the proper 80s gay. He's not gonna be the real feminine gay. He's gonna be hardcore man gay.
Yeah. Like,
He's the big spoon.
yeah. What's that? Oh, God. The movie with the two Irish brothers. Anyways.
And for some reason, I feel like a seafaring people would be a bit stockier.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah, no. I mean, also, like, a seafaring family, you know, like, okay, they might turn to men every once in a while. That's not a big deal. You know, like,
Yeah,
even
sailors.
Corley said it. You know, they're
I-
sailors. You know?
I explained to you, it helps you fight off scurvy.
Yes. I think you're wrong, but Mason, what do you think about sailors?
Actually, I probably shouldn't say anything.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
going to make a joke, but it might be too bad.
Well, I mean, I still love your throwing the kids out joke, but we'll leave it at that. All right, now we get a great scene. You know, how do you say her name? Laena's?
Laena.
Laena?
Oh, the little girl?
No, the wife.
Elena.
Elena.
Just Laena.
It's
Laena.
just like a Laena, but without the A at the beginning. Laena.
Okay, Laena.
There's Laena, then there's Laenor.
Yeah, so she talks to her daughter. Her daughter doesn't have a dragon yet. Foreshadowing. And she tells how she gets, you know, she didn't have a dragon until she was 15.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of would have been cool to see like a flashback of how she actually, you know, connected with Vhagar, but
Exactly.
we did miss. Maybe we missed an episode in between and an episode after. I don't know.
Because
But-
that would have been something to see, like this little girl bonding with the Vhagar.
Yeah, the biggest dragon in the world.
That would have been epic.
Fucking epic. That would have been awesome to see. And both her, the actress before this, they're very good. They're very strong looking women. You know what I mean? Like it would have been cool to see her like impose her will on Vhagar. Like that's what she says.
They
They
set
have
it
a
up.
natural presence, yeah.
They set it up a little bit when she was like 12 and she was constantly talking about the dragon.
Yes.
So you almost feel like they had a psychic connection of some kind.
Right.
But to see them actually contact one another, or for her to touch her for the first time, like that would have been really cool.
Yeah, to have the balls to do it.
Yeah.
And also, just another thing on this character and everything, the king is terrible at his investments because she was 12, she was 12 once, but like I mean, look what he would have had.
Spartacus gay, not Birdcage gay. That's it. I'm sorry. That was a good way of putting it. I like that. Not like it's not that they're gay. It's just we wanted more of a Spartacus gay. I like that.
But yeah, he missed out on a beautiful wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I definitely think out of the two brothers, Damon got the better end of the deal,
Hell yes.
and he's still got an arm.
Yeah, and all his fingers. Shit. So this was a nice little scene. Then he's out there just sitting with his legs crossed like an Englishman. I feel like Damon
A country gent.
Yeah, I just feel like Damon wouldn't ever sit like that. I know these are stupid things I'm picking on, but like the minute I saw it, I'm like, that's not Daemon. I don't know why.
Look, he's smiling and he's not even castrating anyone.
Yeah, right? Well, that's another thing. Like Daemon in the books, he is vicious when need be, but he's not cruel for no reason. And I feel like
he's a pendulum character. I would put it like he's either doing things that are virtuous and everything like that and protecting the family, or he's doing the most heinous things to protect the family.
Like to criminals, to protect the family.
Yeah.
Not blatantly going out and killing his wife.
No. But I think the thing is, this is his actual family.
Mm-hmm.
And his other wife, the Royce girl, wasn't.
I get that. But to kill her blatantly, like that's just not the character I read in the books.
No, he gave her a rocky pillow. I've explained this to you. He just put a pillow underneath her head and it was pointy. It's her fault if she accidentally hit her head on it.
I feel like he would have done it.
No.
You don't think so?
Not at all. Like Daemon is vicious. He could be vile, but it's always to criminals or to people that are out to hurt his family. I just wouldn't believe he would kill her to get out of the marriage. Like he would just do what he was doing, just not be there.
I have a feeling, I think we're far enough along that I would say, my theory.
Wait a minute, real quick. Spoiler. Maybe. Okay,
Maybe.
Go for it.
I feel like he's behind all of it. Like what we see later with Harrenhal, I feel like he's behind that too.
Okay,
what?
That's okay. Remember I said at the beginning, Daemon was a person. Okay, spoilers, yep, it's up there. Daemon was a person who I always thought was the one who did the Harrenhal thing. Always thought it was
say that. You did say that.
Yeah. And I did also in the second.
Well, in the books, it applies it way more.
Yeah. And I also said in the second or third episode that I think he's playing a really smart long game. Like he never admits to anything. I think he's the master manipulator behind this to get what he wants. But I think what's happened is along the way he started to. Yeah, it's like when you go under, like a cop goes undercover for a certain while. These people actually start to become. You start to enjoy their company.
Right.
Yeah. So I definitely think that there's some truth to the quote unquote Jayne theory.
Keep in mind, it was his girlfriend who was feeding information through her little bird to Otto.
Right, and she knew how crazy he was. You really think she would do that, knowing the Daemon in this show could be very violent and vicious? Like he had to give her the okay to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so
and that's the reason why he didn't do anything that night, because he couldn't. Because if they checked her to see if she was still a maiden,
right?
Then
yes,
yeah.
He didn't plan on the Kristen Cole factor,
right?
Yeah, no, I believe that. But you think everything?
I think that the information that's getting into the castle is through him. And the maneuvering that's happening, because I feel like his connection to the people that he's developed over the years, because that's where they put him, he's built those connections, he's built those ties, and his connection to the brothels and all of this. It's the Masters of Whispers, I feel, would answer to him.
So you're saying Clubfoot is one of his people?
Yes.
Okay, I could kind of see that. That is a good theory, Jayne. He revealed Rhaenyra's hair at the brothel. He may have started the fight at the reception and the white worm rumors. So he definitely took off her hat before they entered the brothel so the little boy could see her.
Right at that exact spot,
right?
Too, that he was there waiting, yeah.
Yes, he definitely did that. What was the white worm one again?
She paid the little boy.
She paid the little boy.
Oh, right.
Delivered the message for Otto.
Right. And he was right there to see it.
Yes.
Okay. That shit I understand. It's just, wow. Like, Lars is one of his.
Lars is one of his too. It would show his extended control over everything. Over that particular, over basically Alicent's family and her supposed allies.
Wow.
They think they have control over the situation, but they don't.
It's really
the mastermind.
might be onto something, because at the skipping ahead to the end of the episode, at the end with the fire and everything, the tongueless guys that go in there, they kind of look a little confused about what's going on.
Almost like they came late.
Yeah.
Like the guy actually has a bucket too. He's like, what the frig?
It's like, dude, we're here to graffiti the wall and it's gone. What the hell?
Well, no, or even like we're here to kill him, but somebody already took care of that.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't think the writers are that smart, but what I can say is that's why he's so content with staying in Pentos, so no one knows it's him. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
if he was even at Dragonstone, people could say, well, this smells like Daemon, but he's all the way in Pentos, out of the loop for how many years, having a family, looking like the good old family guy. And the truth of the matter is, he's been pulling the strings ever since.
And everyone thinks he's somewhere else when something is happening. Like when his wife died, he was supposed to be in the Stepstones. There's no telling when he took an opportunity to sneak away.
And Shane says, Prince of the City.
Yeah.
You know, everybody loves him in the city. That's interesting. We called it here first on Sporking News Podcast.
All along.
It was a Jayne Theory on Sporking News Podcast. Fucking mark that
it's
shit
a
down.
theory, a Jayne
Theory. And cut. It's not like I've never watched that guy.
Why? Who's that?
Some dude who has like 20,000 subs. Okay, let's jump along. We're taking it slow today.
I love them together too.
I thought they were great. I thought they were. Oh God, I'm playing way too much. And then we go to like the fucking just two women yelling at like fighting. That's all this was. It was.
I didn't like this at all.
Okay, please. Well, Mason, because I feel like you had to say something, and it's been like a month since you spoke. So go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I thought this was like the first smart decision Rhaenyra's made, and now you guys are telling me that they like swapped it in the books because it was supposed to be Alicent.
Yeah.
But I think this is a smart move for the piece going forward if it worked out right. But I don't know. That's all I have to say.
No, that's good. Jayne, what were you gonna say? Like, why didn't you like this scene?
I didn't like the scene because it basically Viserys.
Whoa, venereal? Did you say?
I won't say.
You know the king venereal disease.
That's what he looks like. Viserys has basically he's lost his power and his standing at his own table,
right?
His own council meeting, and his wife is taken over.
Right.
And they're having this discussion as if he's not even there.
Like, why is she there?
Why is she in the room? Like, yeah.
Like she's in the captain of ships, or like she's in somebody's spot.
Yeah, and remember when Rhaenyra tried to do that? When she was serving drinks, and Otto was like, "Go somewhere."
Yes.
But the wife is just right there in the middle of it, making decisions. She shouldn't be there.
And she's so bitchy about it too.
Yeah.
Like
she must be the new cupbearer.
Yeah, right. I love the old man. Ah! You know, he's like, I like the Tullys or whatever he says. You know, like he's so far behind. We've moved on, master. He goes on to like the Blackwoods again, which I like how they bring up the Blackwoods and the Brackens because they're always freaking fighting. Was it the Blackwoods were moving stones at night to make their property bigger?
Yeah.
That's so great.
So petty.
They're so petty, man.
I think that's going to be a recurring theme throughout the show, which is kind of funny.
Right. They're going to take two different sides.
Yeah.
And then we're going to probably get the duel we were kind of cheated on. Because they named them different people in the books than they did in Storm's End. So I think we still have that duel coming.
Yeah.
Shane asks, Jayne Theory, it seems like Laena knew Daemon didn't love her, but she loved him.
I think he loved her.
In his own way.
I think he loved her in his own way. I think he loved her for what she brought to the table in terms of her being Velaryon and a dragon rider and sharing his personality. They had a lot in common.
Yeah.
And I think he, it's like he settled for her.
Yeah.
But he did, I do believe he did love her. Because you could see his affection for her and his concern for her was genuine.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it-
you're
it-
right.
His family, so
It seems like Damon just has a hard time like showing love. Like he has a hard time conveying his emotions.
Yeah.
It's like all of his children are like, why doesn't Dad talk to us anymore? But he does have some sort of care because they're his blood. Like even when he's trying to help Viserys, he calls them like, "Hey, guess what? You're a weak king, but I want to help you." He just has a hard time, like, I don't know, conveying.
Expressing it correctly.
yeah. But he's always honest. He's just
Well, to a point, he leaves stuff out. He doesn't answer things he doesn't want to answer.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to lie.
Right.
He doesn't lie. He just lets you fill in the gaps and put them as truth.
Yep. Yeah. But this scene was kind of just the two women run the show. No one else said a freaking word.
I didn't like that.
Like, you now have, and you know what? Strong has been on the council long enough, and he has been the hand for over 10 years now. Should have a little bit more balls to like be like, what are we doing here?
Who are you? Why are you here?
Right.
Why is Alicent there?
Well, that's what we were saying. Like, when Rhaenyra was younger, Mason said she was yelled at for speaking up, being the cupbearer. Like, why is she even at the table, Alicent? I could see why Rhaenyra's there, but even then, usually you don't have the next in line at the table, but I guess he thinks I'm going to die at some point, so it's just, I don't know.
Speaking of balls, they're still playing with the things on the table.
Yeah,
And they
very
haven't
phallic.
told us what it's supposed to be.
It represents their there. That's really all it means.
I just feel like they rushed too much. This is part of them rushing everything.
Yep.
We're far too hostile toward one another too soon.
Yep.
All of this should be happening after he's dead, I feel.
Yeah, and there should be like before he dies, it's more the kids causing trouble and people whispering, but it's not really them two out in the open, like vindictive towards each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they like play off the mother-daughter thing.
Everything is more subtle, maybe building
Yes.
their alliances, but not out and out attacking each other in such a blatant. I mean, look at this scene.
Right. It's so dumb.
This is a girl power thing that they just stuck in
That
there.
being said, I like the fact how Viserys is the king. He's surrounded by light, but he's completely in the dark, and he's the smallest looking out of all of them there.
Yeah.
The chair looks so big. He has shrunk. That is a good way. Everybody else is a foot over the chair, even the maester, and he is sunk below the chair top.
Yeah, it looks kind of expensive. It must have cost an arm and a leg.
Oh! Dun, 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 dun.
Welcome back, Mason.
Oh, yeah, Mason is in the house, everybody. I love it.
I will say it looks more realistic than anything from Rings of Power.
Fudge, yeah. I mean, come on. Rings of Power is so bad.
Yeah.
I haven't even finished the last episode. I can't get through them. I'm like a
Dude,
episode
there's
and a half
literally a
behind.
line. He says enough of this. He says, I want the meat and give it to me raw.
What?
That's what Durin says to Aragorn, and Aragorn shudders like he's just combed everywhere.
Elrond, you mean?
Enron, yeah.
Enron? Oh, God. Hey, it's Sherpa, everybody. I was wondering if you were going to be here for $19.99. Holy cow, man. Thank you so much. Hail panel and hail chat. By far my favorite Hot D Blood and Fire after show discussion and analysis group. I'm still digging this show. Miles better than most things currently out in entertainment, even with the nitpicking. First of all, I agree with you. Second of all, I love that you said this is your favorite show. Take that one, Gary. $19.99. You're the best.
He loves
man.
that as well. He loves
I do. I was about to
well.
say that, and I was like, "Does that sound wrong?" No, I appreciate it. It means a lot. All the money made before October 1st is going to my trip to meet Gary and the boys and Jayne. We got to get dinner, Jayne. A group of us and have some fun.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. I'm coming down on the 28th, so it kind of sucks, but whatever. So thank you, Sherpa. This show is good. We're nitpicking the show, but again, I really enjoyed the episode. It's just now that we sit back and we talk and think about like the book, like there's moments where like they could have done it better, but by far this is probably the best fantasy show out of many out right now.
I haven't had my second watch through yet, so I think that's probably the reason why my score was higher than I thought than I'm thinking now.
It is not a bad episode. Like there's not one episode where I was like, this sucks or this is bad. Like every episode I was like, that was good. It was just, there's some problems like this part where they swap, from book. It should be, Alicent offering the marriage pact. They make Rhaenyra look very weak here. So I don't know. Thanks, Joseph. Thank you, Shane. I appreciate that. Sporking Jayne, I want in on the dinner plan. If you're going, we'll all hang. So yeah, the king is this. The part kills me is where the king like literally is like, "This is awesome," and she's like, "Yeah, no."
I mean, I do kind of feel like it was a smart move for somebody to put this on the table, but I could also understand as a practical matter, especially at this point, the way they built it up, why Alicent would be against it.
Yeah.
Because she has her, at this point in her head,
she's winning.
She has her trueborn children.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows what Rhaenyra's doing. Everybody knows Rhaenyra's kids are bastards.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody would prefer her son on the throne. So at this point, she has no incentive, besides avoiding war, to give an inch to Rhaenyra.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's
humble. Something's up.
Well, I was just about to say that, Mason. Like, for Rhaenyra to do this at this moment shows her kids are bastards.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a dumb move to do in front of everyone.
She should have.
I think she was trying to force her hand by doing it in this, in front of all essentially the people that help run the kingdom. She's pushed her against the wall, so she has to say yes.
Yeah,
but it just seems like a very weird. Like, why wouldn't you go to your father first and run it by him?
Yeah,
because he could decide without the council.
He didn't do it when he married Alicent. So
problem.
Yeah. Now it puts her in a position of, well, she tried to make peace. It's Alicent who's like drumming things up.
If she was smart, she would do that.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like the Rhaenyra camp does not turn it back on them. Like, they could easily, she is the next in line for the crown. She should be throwing out your treasonous remarks to everybody. Like, just start butchering people. That's the way to win it. I'm sorry. I think so. And then plain featured sons. Like, she is so wrong. And she's saying it in front of all these people. Like, who's this guy in the middle? We don't know. He's some dude in a red vest.
Dude, he's wearing red. That should be enough to shut your mouth around him.
Right. Like, it's a good marriage when I'm cold and in my grave.
She's in in the books when someone talks about the being bastards, Viserys threatens to cut their eyes out and their tongues.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when they talk about the strong boys.
Yeah.
He literally tells them that if from here on out anyone speaks of it, they will get their tongues chopped off and seared. Like, he literally says that in the books. He has more balls in the book. Like, maybe he lost them already in the show. I don't know.
Yeah, they probably fell off.
Well, he said something like that last episode.
The
last time I think he tried to take someone's eye was the talk of Daemon and Rhaenyra. And he said, "Tell me who speaks these lies, and I'll flay their eyes out."
He isn't a wussy. That's what kills me. But they're making him so pathetic right now. I don't know. It was Rhaenyra's Hail Mary attempt now that she's finally realizing how much she screwed up. I get that. I really do. But I feel like it was a dumb moment to do it. She should have done, which is almost impossible, get the king alone. But,
well, I mean, in all fairness, when has Rhaenyra done anything that you would consider smart in this series?
Not one thing ever since her father married Alicent.
Yeah.
Not one thing.
So I guess it's in line.
I guess so. Yeah, you got a valid point. Rhaenyra isn't going around saying that Aegon the Second looks like an albino freak. He does. He looks so weird. This is when...
Wait, who's the father of your child? A White Walker?
Right. This is the part where look at her. She has a girl boner. She is so excited right now. She wants him to say, it's because my son, your grandchildren are bastards of my son. She wants it. She even like pushes him to say it, and he won't.
I just looked at the dictionary. I looked up the definition of noble, and it's just a picture of Lionel's face.
He is, man. He's such a good dude. Man, and his own son. So he won't let him do it, but he says, "Hey, I got to take my son back to Harrenhal, Harwin, because he has to rule there. No more City Watch. Let me get him out of here because of things and reasons." And that happens. So then we go on, and here's the club.
Dude, this first thing that he does is such a power play. He eats before she even gets there.
Yes.
I'm just like, oh, like he's. Yeah, I understand why he can't walk because of the size of his balls. Like that's purely simple. Like he's a scary individual.
Dude, this guy's worse than Littlefinger.
Yeah, they always have they always have something to do with a body part. Those Master of Whispers and that.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah.
Right. One doesn't have balls. One has big balls. One has a little finger.
Yeah.
But the actor who's playing him is doing a magnificent role of being quietly terrifying.
He moves like an actual snake. If a snake was impersonating a person, he moves that way. It's so weird.
That is such a good way of putting it, dude. He like slithers as he walks. You're so right.
He rarely has his head straight up and down in line.
Yeah, like his neck is always like out. Yeah. Wow, that's a really good way of putting it. What do you feel about him, Jayne?
Head tilt?
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know if you're up on Preston's theory about him faking it.
Oh, the clubfoot?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that. Actually, I love Preston, and I haven't heard that theory.
I kind of believe it.
I always thought it.
Larys.
Yeah.
And we know that Varys was not himself at all. Like nothing about how he presented himself was real.
Right.
And I wonder if that's the exact same thing here.
Like, remember when Varys dressed like a man and he had like a 5 o'clock shadow and his voice was like an octave deeper? Like, has anybody ever looked and seen him being castrated? Like things like that. Well, I wonder that about this one.
Yeah.
But again, would his family support him pretending? Because if he has a club foot, like, but I think all the extra.
Yeah, are we told how he got the clubfoot?
I thought he was born that way. Lady Gaga
wonder if
version.
He was. I wonder if it was an accident or something, allegedly.
I think it was indicated in one of the things that they didn't say he was born. It said from the time that he was known, he's had that. And I don't know if that means from the time that anyone was introduced to him or ever since he was born, he's had it. But it's been a part of him for as long as anyone in the realm technically knows, I guess.
Okay. I'm looking it up.
Yeah. I was listening to a couple of chapters last night, and it had stuff on him, and yeah, it was worded really weirdly.
Suspicious.
So, all right, let's see. One of Lar's feet was twisted at birth, so he dragged it with a limp.
Oh, okay.
I like how they
That's dedication, doing it from birth.
Yeah, right.
He's sneaky.
But a wiki of Ice and Fire puts Lars rarely spoke, preferring to listen. When he did so, it was either to be glib or share words of great importance. The clubfoot was enigmatic. I can never say that word. And cunning
Enigmatic.
man. Thank you. And cunning man. Although he could be convincing and amicable, or amiable, whatever. When needed, he he kept his own counsel and was largely friendless. So like historians are baffled as to exactly what Clubfoot's loyalties and goals were during the Dance of the Dragon.
Jayne Theory time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. I feel like based on what they've shown us so far, the Hightowers aren't as clever as they think they are.
Right.
And I think that it's Daemon who's actually pulling the strings behind the scenes. Everyone who they think they have in their pocket, I think is someone he put there.
Well,
that would be brilliant.
And within like real world sort of thing, I don't think they realized how popular Matt Smith's character was going to be.
And
the
comment was made about that. I mean,
yeah.
Varys, when he got into it with Otto, he told him everywhere he's been, you've put him. You know, he has this army, he has this support in the city,
right?
Because you put him there,
right? You didn't want him master of coin, right? Yeah. Oh my God, that's a valid point. It was Hightowers put him where he knew he wanted to end up. Jayne Theory. Here on Sporking News. Theory time with Jayne.
We'll see if it turns out to be true.
I like it though, no matter what. So, you know, he just does his little glib, you know, talking about his brother and his dad.
And what he ultimately is accused of doing or acknowledges doing at this point was clearly not what she wanted.
Right.
When he's not stupid, he knows it wasn't what she wanted.
Right. But she's just like speaking angrily.
Yeah.
And like fearfully, like, who is here on my side? I wish my dad was here. And he took that and ran with it.
Yeah. So who's he really supporting?
Yeah.
You can see he's calculating things there right then. He's like, okay, now's my opportunity.
Right. I mean, look at her eyes. When she looks at him, like, he takes that as, this is my go-ahead to do what I need to do. And he goes down into the prison with his big-ass handled cane. And, oh, you're going to die? Well, guess what? I'm going to help you out. This part was cray. They get the pincers out. They heat up the freaking thing and they cut off their tongues. So now he has his little spiders. What does he call his? I can't remember.
I don't know.
They're not his little mice, are they?
Just out of curiosity, people were saying that they were wearing like a little beetle, like sigil at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was a club foot that they were wearing. It looked like a twisted foot.
It's
That's
some
what I
kind
thought
of
it
beetle.
was. Oh, okay. Because
Now, was that the same symbol that's on his cane, or was that his house symbol?
That was his. No, it's not their house symbol. I
didn't think so.
His cane. It's like his own sigil he's adopted.
Okay, so you're going to have tongueless men going around killing people with your symbol on their lapel.
Yeah.
That's not very smart.
Yeah, that was another decision I feel like was just made for the audience.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Getting his season 8 Larys out of the way early.
Yeah, like that's a season 8 move. Like, we didn't need to know that. So here's another birthing scene, different position. The Pentos Maester, I guess, says it's beyond his ability to get the baby out.
It's beyond my art, I think he said.
Yeah, beyond my art. So, she keeps pushing. Let's just say that, and then we get the
books. Doesn't she actually give birth to a dragon?
Yes,
he gives birth to a dragon.
A twisted formed baby. Yeah, with scales and maybe a bat wing. I know that it's almost like the same one Dany does in the tent. And then she dies like 3 days later of a fever.
Yeah, she attempts to go out for a ride, but then collapses, and then
no.
That's what happens in the book. Yeah.
And this is when not the father says goodbye to not his sons. Like in a very emotional way. Like if you're not okay, let's put it this way. If you're not trying to allow the kids to know he's the dad, we should have been an episode before this showing us that he's just like the friendly, gold cloak captain that, their dad's not around. So he's like, hey, shucks, kids, let's go, sword fight and let's do this and that. But
Yeah.
Literally,
No,
he
not
comes
like your
off his
dad's swords fight. A different sort of sword fighting.
And that's the other thing too. I couldn't in the books, was he a gold cloak or did
No.
he take
No, he was just her. He was just her personal guard.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So that would have made more sense for him to have a good
Way
relationship
more
with the
sense.
kids.
I didn't understand the gold cloak thing because, like, if he was her personal guard, even though those rumors were going around, there's a reason why he's always around.
Right, exactly.
Like, why the hell is the commander of the city watch is always at the side of the princess?
Makes no sense.
Makes no sense. But yeah, he says goodbye to his not so sons. It's very awkward. He's
Wait a
touching.
minute. That makes sense now. If he's the head of the city watch, that's the reason why Rhaenyra likes him. Same reason she liked her uncle.
Hey, another thing though. Who put him as city watch? Like, was that a Daemon move to have somebody control the city watch that'll keep him in order till he gets back, knowing that they're really listening to Daemon and not Harwin Strong?
Ooh.
I don't. I'm going to run that by my source. Jane, what do you think?
I think that's interesting. I could absolutely believe that. Because they answered to him ultimately, period.
Yeah, I don't know.
And one thing I noticed with the kids too,
Yep.
is that they matched to their exact hair color.
Yes. They look exactly like
they
his
don't just
kids.
have dark hair, they have his hair.
They have his hair and his features. Whoever casted those kids did an excellent job.
But they don't have his smile.
Another great channel here, guys. If you haven't checked out T and Telly, check out the channel. It is awesome. A fantastic human being. Please make sure you guys, friends of the Orville Nation. So PJ, if PJ likes somebody, we all should like somebody. So Maria, hello. Yeah, I think Daemon might have had something. Now you got me all. I'm looking at the show completely different now, Jane. Like totally.
Imagine if it was Daemon and Otto all together at once. That was the whole point of it.
Yeah.
They were lovers.
Dun, dun,
but no, it's too far.
You know, and this is a scene where I feel like she did a great job emoting. Like, I can't show any affection for you, but she does. Like, I felt like she did a good job. Like, it was so hard for her not to, like, just want to be like, grab him. I don't know.
Oh,
and her hair looks better here.
And the part where he lies to the baby, I didn't like that.
I'll be a stranger.
Yeah, I'll be straight. You know, you'll be much older next time you see me. I'm like,
yeah, what a liar. Okay, and the two buddies are playing with actual swords this time. Not
without
swords.
any protection on as
Yes.
well.
So she decides we're leaving. We're going to Dragonstone. They should have done it years ago. Would have kept them out of court. Would have kept the kids out of sight. Could have. But again, you can't bring the gold cloak captain with you. Like, that's why he needed to be the personal guard. But they didn't. So now she's deciding to go, and she's like, and bring your little buddy there with you. We need all the swords we can get. Yeah. And that was that. And then, they get back to Harrenhal, and, her, father, not the father, burns to death at Harrenhal. And
she goes to Dragonstone.
Yeah, I said Harrenhal, didn't I? She goes to Dragonstone. Yeah. He goes to Harrenhal. He dies. End of story.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really not much to fill in there. That's how it happened in the books. Oh, wait a minute. Did we wait a minute?
You skipped. I was going to say, there's Laena there.
Yeah, where is it?
Yeah,
right
just here.
This is probably one of the bigger changes from the book. It's hard to see. I don't know why, but she is begging her dragon to burn her because she set it up earlier in the show. She wanted to die a dragon rider's death. And she goes out as a dragon rider.
Fucking Chad moment.
Very Chad moment. The dragon, like, I feel like the dragon didn't want to do it, and then he smelled the death on her. Did anybody else get that?
I
like
didn't.
right here.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it quite that way.
Mm-hmm.
I think when at some point she keeps saying it over and over again, but at one point they lock eyes.
Yes.
And I think that's where she communicates to Vhagar, no, seriously, this is a time I want you to do it.
Yeah.
In that moment, and the dragon's like, okay.
And it's like, don't worry, I'm sure your next rider will be a nice person.
Yeah, totally on our side. What I go ahead, Mason.
Well, like she's like she rubs blood on her hand and like holds it up to the dragon in one of the scenes.
Yeah, right around here, I think.
Yeah.
But I think, okay, so I agree with you with the locking of the eyes, but I feel like Vhagar wasn't taking her seriously until he smelled her. And she that's the connection. She realized the dragon was taking her seriously, the telepathic, because it's a telepathic communication. And this is where he just goes, or she goes.
Even then, she didn't want to do it.
No, I mean, I believe there's a love between a dragon and a dragon rider.
Yeah.
So now, this is the thing I got confused on. I thought in the books it said a dragon rider, if their dragon dies, cannot take another dragon. But if the dragon rider dies, a dragon could take other riders. But I'm finding out that's not the truth.
What do you mean?
Because didn't they bring... Okay, so like if like Velaryon died on Viserys, and they say in the show he never took another dragon. But I thought when the dragon died before the dragon rider could not connect with another dragon.
Correct.
Okay. So they played it like he never wanted another dragon, but the truth of the matter is he couldn't take another dragon.
Right.
And it hit me during this part when I thought about what happens next. Like they
really made him anti-dragon, but
yeah,
we also don't know why that was.
Right. But the truth of the matter is he could never take another dragon anyways.
Even if he wanted to, yeah.
Right. So I think that's a big thing they leave out.
That being said, that's assuming that he actually did ride Velaryon and that. Like, we don't know.
He said he did.
Right.
I thought
he said he did, but like he's also very anti-dragon, so we don't know. Maybe he was afraid of the dragon and he never actually rode the dragon. That's why he says, I never took to another dragon, like, because he always had that option. I don't know. I did something about his relationship with the dragon that I find really suspicious.
Yeah, same
I can't
here.
put my finger on it. Yeah.
And I thought they would have given us the reason why.
He may never have. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
He said he took him out once, but he may never have.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if maybe he doesn't have the like, telepathic thing to any dragons, and he just sees the destruction of them.
Well, I mean, if he rode Velaryon and they made a connection, if Velaryon dies, he cannot make that connection again. So, like, if it was a short-lived thing, maybe it wasn't strong enough for him to actually understand why a dragon rider and a dragon are so bonded. And that's why he has against it, like, because he just sees it as a nuclear bomb, and that's it.
But if he never wrote it, it would also explain his personality, I think.
Yes. Or if he wrote it without really connecting and the dragon just took him off. Like, wasn't there one of the girls that like got on a dragon, the dragon took her away for a week?
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks and then brought her back half dead with worms?
Yeah.
You know, like, it could have been something like that where he actually didn't make a connection, but the dragon didn't kill him. I don't know, but that was that.
Yeah, it's a pretty hot scene.
Yeah.
I think it would have been better because it made no sense how she got out there with no one knowing. I feel like it would have made much more sense if she asked Daemon to take her to the dragon. And maybe at that point she collapsed or died on the way.
Yeah,
or
she pushes
something.
him out of the way and then says Dracarys.
Yeah.
Or even just dies in front of Vhagar, like trying to get on her or touching her. You know, like the idea of dying by fire is, woof, that's a vicious one.
And then he allows her to be cremated then and there.
Yeah.
Well, not only that,
And then just leaves her there too.
She's still pregnant. She still has the baby inside her. They don't know if the baby is alive or not, and she just goes out there and gets fried. And it kind of presented her as somebody who, like, loved her children, not like a Cersei or somebody willing to sacrifice them for like political moves or anything. And then she just like kills her baby with her.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why they should have shown the baby being deformed.
I would have liked that. Even if they took the route of her dying after that by fire because she's so depressed and sick and dying.
Yeah.
Like, I understand, like, her, like, 3 days later thing, but, like, she set it up. I don't mind that happened, but, yeah, without knowing if the baby was alive or dead, people did see him circle 3 times. He only flew Velaryon once, but did he make a telepathic connection?
What I'm saying is, just remember that we're now getting a skewed history. Like, if the Maces are going to write about the king, they're going to say the king rode a dragon.
Yeah, and not be like a bitch. Oh man, but
King Viserys the bitch.
What's up? We got a couple people jumping in late. How you guys doing? That was a RV. No, that was the director.
Well, technically, so was the scene with the sun earlier out the window.
Was he supposed to be Trump Jr.?
No, he was. Forget it. No, it wasn't the actress though. RV Wade. It was Miguel Sapochnik, and that was an earlier episode.
And if you want to know what happened to him, we should watch Sporking News podcast. He has a short on it.
Yes. Am I putting it out there?
No, I'm pointing, but you can't see it, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Anyways,
yeah.
I think that we'll wrap it up. So last thoughts on it, Mason, because you barely talk, we'll go with you first. Last thoughts on the episode.
Yeah, I mean, now that we've talked about it and kind of pointed out some of the issues, and like that's kind of why I said it was closer to a 5 on the objective scale. But I still really enjoyed it, even after all of our dunking on it.
I don't think we actually dunked on it, Mason. I feel like the decisions the characters made in world we were dunking on mostly, but I still think it was done well.
We were putting it to the same level that we were putting the previous episodes, that the previous episodes were doing the right thing. We only wanted to go to the same standard of the previous episodes.
Yeah, we pointed out a lot of the flaws that were in this episode, and this episode just happened to have a lot more of them.
Yeah. And also out there in the chat, let us know. You don't have to put out of, but what number do you give it out of 10? Marby says 7. Jayne, how about you?
Yeah, I would give it a good 7. At most, a 7.5. Certainly no more than an 8. Because of the issues that we brought up that I feel like could have been easily corrected.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I don't know. I think it was all part of them rushing this episode. It just should have been 2 episodes at least.
Yeah.
But otherwise, a good entertaining episode.
Yep. I'm sorry. I also skipped the part where Clubfoot finds or the queen finds out that they died, and it was because of her words. I totally blanked on talking about that part. So that was the moment where she realized, like, she has to watch what she says. I really feel like that was the first moment she realized people could die because of her.
Yeah. And people did die because of her.
Yeah.
So how is that going to affect her going forward?
Absolutely. 7.5 Katina, 6.9. Respect. Yeah. Now, did your number change, Jayne, or you still... I forgot. I missed what you said. I'm sorry.
No, it hasn't changed. It's
Okay.
still in that sort of 7.5 range.
Mhm.
Yeah, it just I did enjoy, like I said before, I can't say enough about the dragons, and
Oh
I
my
know
God.
why they're doing it, but they're doing a great job of making them characters that we care about.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Like Vagar is my dog, and I hate what happens. I don't want to spoil anything, but like wrong. Now it's
There's
wrong.
some I can't wait to see because we were
Yeah.
trying. Oh, when we were talking about who that was in the Dragon Pit, a lot of people in the chat said Dreamfire.
Oh,
That could be cool.
That could be very cool. Would Dreamfire be that old? Maybe. I thought
Well,
Dreamfire was a
it wasn't
young.
very big.
Yeah, that's true. Aw, Maria with the tea and tele for $3. Fun and positive stream. Just my cup of tea. Oh, EXO. Great channel, guys. Please check her out. More people will be watching this later. So if you are afterwards, take a second. Find the channel. Please, somebody maybe could put the link in the chat. If you could bring up your own live stream, you could check it out, live stream chat, and support a great person. A friend of PJ's from Orville Nation, who is seriously one of my favorite people on YouTube. Orville Nation has a heart of gold and is a good human being. We started out at the same time. He's crushing me, but that's okay. Everybody else is too. But I love him still. So please support. Mr. Grant Gregory, where are you?
Yeah, I'm a 7. The little things that we spoke about and the little nitpicks here and there, it's probably stuff that I would have picked up on my second viewing, but no, I still enjoy it. I still think that it's going in a positive direction, and that's for me, that's the main thing. It hasn't seasoned 8 yet. It hasn't jumped the shark yet or anything. I said it from the very first episode. I know what you're doing, HBO. You manipulated me with the music on that first thing when she was flying through with the dragon. You're doing it again with the dragons. I don't like it, but I want more of it. Yeah.
I would say what did I give it? A 6.5 or a 7? I'm going to say a solid 7. Yes, we nitpicked and we ripped it apart, but it's still so much better than what's out there. And I'm still invested. I'm invested with these characters, even with the actor changes. The only one that really bothered me was Laenor the most. I actually like the Darcy as Rhaenyra, not as a human being. And the Queen played a very Karen-esque role. I'm shocked Viserys is still alive. I thought in my mind he should be dead. But it was really good.
See, I got a little tiny Jayne theory on that one. We saw at the end of the last episode that the Maester, the old Maester, was also quite ill. And now we have the young apprentice as the Maester. Perhaps when that other Maester died off, this Maester, took over, and look, the series started to get better, or started to not decline as quickly.
Well, also, Otto Hightower is gone.
That's true, yeah.
And he will be back, most likely.
I feel like they're prolonging it to have their girl boss moments. But all of this should be happening, I feel like, after his death. And I hate really for him to see all of this.
Right.
It's like he sees now.
He's not dumb.
Clearly.
Yeah, that's what'll kill him. Because there's still the scene from the original trailer where Alicent pulls a knife on
right, and they all see your real self. Yeah,
and it puts it to a neck.
That's the dinner, though, Mason, isn't it?
Do what?
Like, that's going to be the dinner where the blacks and the greens become blacks and greens.
I think it's going to happen next episode.
Yeah.
That means anything.
Well, they still have to have like that moment in the book where like that's where they get the names. Rhaenyra wears a black dress. Shocker. Hightower wears a green dress. But that's where they get the names. It's from a feast, or there was something they were having where they wore dresses and the animosity just poured out and people started choosing sides. So
have you all chosen sides?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, because that was when the guy said, "Oh, look at your boys. They don't look weak. They definitely look strong. These are strong men, aren't they?"
Yeah. So that's probably next episode. It'll be fun. It's attorney, Shane said.
Well, the the next episode is the last episode that has Paddy Constantine not end as credit only. So it could be his
The
last
funeral?
one. It might be. I don't know. But they're playing pretty loose with the IMDb for each episode. So who knows?
I'm also with you, Jayne. Team Black.
No,
Team
she
Black.
said blacks. Team
Blacks.
Yeah.
Oh, Team Blacks. I'm down. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming out tonight. I hope you all have a great week. We will see you next Monday with most likely not Gary. Maybe he'll invite me on his show one of these days. I don't know. I think he's scared of my knowledge.
He said he's going to come on before the season ends.
It would be nice season finale. That'd be cool. Whatever. No big whoop. It's no big deal. Even though Christie makes it seem like I have a fan boner for him. I just like the guy. What are you going to do? People like Friends.
And just a reminder, I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so having said that, I want me some glory hole.
You guys are wrong. That goes out to Nerd Cookies. She's somewhere out there in the world. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you, guys. Thank you, panel. Thank you, chat. Thank you, YouTube, for not even really looking at my strike complaints. Thanks a lot for that, too. God bless
Hey, they
everybody.
spent 8 seconds on it.
It was a good hard 8 seconds.
Bye.
Bye.
It's like my sex life.